on Internet 848. 4:05 p.m., the A's take on the Arizona Diamondbacks on Internet 841. 4:05 p.m., Chicago White Sox face the LA Angels on Internet 853. 6:05 p.m., Boston Red Sox face the Minnesota Twins on Internet 844. In the NBA, 7:30 p.m., Boston Celtics take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Celtics on SiriusXM channels 86 Internet 881, Thunder on Internet 900. 7:30 p.m. Atlanta Hawks face the Charlotte Hornets. Hawks on Sirius 137 XM 212 and Internet 880, Hornets on Internet 883. 7:30 p.m. Toronto Raptors face the Philadelphia 76ers. Raptors on Sirius and XM channels 167 Internet 907, 76ers on Internet 902. 8 p.m. Miami Heat take on the LA Clippers. Heat on Sirius 210 XM 213 and Internet 895, Clippers on Internet 892. 8 p.m., Houston Rockets face the Phoenix Suns. Rockets on Sirius 160 XM 215 and Internet 890, Suns on Internet 903. 8 p.m., San Antonio Spurs take on the Dallas Mavericks. Spurs on Sirius 161 XM 214 and Internet 906, Mavericks on Internet 886. 8 p.m., Memphis Grizzlies take on the Utah Jazz. Grizzlies on Sirius 211 XM 216 and Internet 894, Jazz on Internet 908. 10 p.m., Portland Trailblazers face the New York Knicks. Blazers on Sirius 137 XM 212 and Internet 904, Knicks on Internet 899. 10 p.m., Denver Nuggets face the Minnesota Timberwolves. Nuggets on Sirius and XM channels 86 Internet 887, Timberwolves on Internet 897. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM sports schedule for Wednesday, March the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball spring training action, 1:05 p.m. Washington Nationals take on the Houston Astros on XM 177, Internet 851. 1:05 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals face the New York Mets on XM 176, Internet 865. 1:05 p.m. Detroit Tigers face the Tampa Bay Rays on XM 175, Internet 850. 4:05 p.m. Texas Rangers take on the Cincinnati Reds on Internet 847. 4:05 p.m. Cleveland Guardians take on the San Francisco Giants on Internet 848. 4:05 p.m. The A's take on the Arizona Diamondbacks on Internet 841. 4:05 p.m. Chicago White Sox face the LA Angels on Internet 853. 6:05 p.m. Boston Red Sox face the Minnesota Twins on Internet 844. In the NBA, 7:30 p.m., Boston Celtics take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Celtics on Sirius and XM channels 86 Internet 881, Thunder on Internet 900. 7:30 p.m. Atlanta Hawks face the Charlotte Hornets. Hawks on Sirius 137 XM 212 and Internet 880, Hornets on Internet 883. 7:30 p.m. Toronto Raptors face the Philadelphia 76ers. Raptors on Sirius and XM channels 167 Internet 907, 76ers on Internet 902. 8 p.m. Miami Heat take on the LA Clippers. Heat on Sirius 210 XM 213 and Internet 895, Clippers on Internet 892. 8 p.m., Houston Rockets face the Phoenix Suns. Rockets on Sirius 160 XM 215 and Internet 890, Suns on Internet 903. 8 p.m., San Antonio Spurs take on the Dallas Mavericks. Spurs on Sirius 161 XM 214 and Internet 906, Mavericks on Internet 886. 8 p.m., Memphis Grizzlies take on the Utah Jazz. Grizzlies on Sirius 211 XM 216 and Internet 894, Jazz on Internet 908.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Ryan Payton for SiriusXM Sports. In the 1960s and early 70s, there was one name in NCAA basketball, UCLA. They were dominant over a 12-year stretch. They won all 30 games they played in 1963, the first of 4 times they would go undefeated during their run. 2 more titles and another undefeated season followed in the next 3 years, and then maybe the greatest player in collegiate history joined the team. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, known as Lou Alcindor at the time, took the NCAA by storm. He led the Bruins to 3 straight championships, averaging 26.4 points per game. They even banned dunking from 67 to 76 because of his dominance. When he finally left the Bruins campus after the 1969 season and 3 straight titles, success did not stop for Wooden and UCLA. They won their 4th, 5th, and 6th straight national titles, leading up to one of the greatest runs in sports history. The 72-73 season saw them win a national title and a second straight undefeated 30-0 season, running their total to 75 straight wins and 7 national titles in a row. In 73, both streaks would come to an end. One more title for UCLA in Wooden in 74-75 as the coach went out on top one last time. In all, 10 championships in 12 years equals one of the greatest dynasties in sports. For SiriusXM Sports, I'm Ryan Pete.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM sports schedule for Wednesday, March the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7:30 p.m., Detroit Red Wings take on the Buffalo Sabres. Red Wings on SiriusXM channels 91, Internet 929, Sabres on Internet 922. 9 p.m., Calgary Flames face the Vancouver Canucks. Flames on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 923, Canucks on Internet 948. 10 p.m., Utah Hockey Club takes on the Anaheim Ducks. Utah on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 947, Ducks on Internet 920. 10:30 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the Montreal Canadiens. Kraken on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 943, Canadiens on Internet 934. In Champions League at 4 p.m., Atletico Madrid takes on Real Madrid on SiriusXM and Internet channels 157. In NCAA College Men's Basketball, noon, Georgia Tech faces Virginia on SiriusXM and Internet channels 81. 1 p.m., Arizona faces South Carolina on Sirius 106, XM 190, and Internet 960. 2 p.m., San Jose State takes on Wyoming on Sirius 162, XM 202, and Internet 964. 3:30 p.m., Vanderbilt faces Texas on Sirius 106, XM 190, and Internet 960. 3:30 p.m., Minnesota faces Northwestern on Sirius XM and Internet channels 84. 4 p.m., Providence takes on Butler on Sirius 139, XM 201, and Internet 963. 4:30 p.m., Nevada faces Fresno State on Sirius 162, XM 202, and Internet 964. 6 p.m., Ohio State faces Iowa on Sirius XM and Internet channels 84. 6:30 p.m., Georgetown takes on DePaul on Sirius 139, XM 201, and Internet 963. 7 p.m., American takes on Navy on Sirius 119, XM 203, and Internet 965. 7 p.m., Mississippi State takes on LSU on Sirius 106, XM 190, and Internet 960. 7 p.m., UNLV faces Air Force on Sirius 162, XM 202, and Internet 964. 8:30 p.m., Rutgers takes on USC on Sirius XM and Internet channels 84. 9 p.m., UC Santa Barbara faces Cal State Bakersfield on XM 380, Internet 970. 9 p.m., Villanova takes on Seton Hall on Sirius 139, XM 201, and Internet 963. 9:30 p.m., Georgia takes on Oklahoma on Sirius 106, XM 190, and Internet 960. 11:30 p.m., UC Davis takes on Cal Poly on XM 380, Internet 970. In NCAA College Women's Basketball, 3 p.m., UC Santa Barbara takes on Cal Poly on XM 380, Internet 970. 5:30 p.m., UC Riverside faces Long Beach State on XM 380, Internet 970. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM sports schedule for Wednesday, March the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7:30 p.m., Detroit Red Wings take on the Buffalo Sabres. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Sabres on Internet 922. 9 p.m., Calgary Flames face the Vancouver Canucks. Flames on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 923, Canucks on Internet 948. 10 p.m., Utah Hockey Club takes on the Anaheim Ducks. Utah on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 947, Ducks on Internet 920. 10:30 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the Montreal Canadiens. Kraken on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 943, Canadiens on Internet 934. In Champions League at 4 p.m., Atletico Madrid takes on Real Madrid on Sirius XM and Internet channels 157. In NCAA College Men's Basketball, noon, Georgia Tech faces Virginia on Sirius XM and Internet channels 81. 1 p.m., Arizona faces South Carolina on Sirius 106, XM 190, and Internet 960. 2 p.m., San Jose State takes on Wyoming on Sirius 162, XM 202, and Internet 964. 3:30 p.m., Vanderbilt faces Texas on Sirius 106, XM 190, and Internet 960. 3:30 p.m., Minnesota faces Northwestern on Sirius XM and Internet channels 84.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
I'm Mick Kern with It Happened in Baseball. Beginning in 1994, Major League Baseball introduced the wild card concept to the pennant race. Both the National and American League split into 3 divisions each, and the wild card qualifier was the team with the best record that did not win a division title. But the loss of the last part of the 94 season, including the postseason, put all of that on hold until the following year. In a season where Mickey Mantle passed away and Derek Jeter made his Major League debut, the New York Yankees were the first ever AL wildcard team, finishing 7 games behind the
Cheers, Insiders! Thanks for hanging out with us this afternoon, this evening, this morning, the middle of the night, wherever it is where you're watching from. Thank you for spending your time with us here and cheering on whatever team it is that you're rooting for in the SEC tournament. Please do us a favor and let's get some more basketball fans here in the chat to help us raise money for SickKids Hospital in Toronto and have a really good time partying it up during March Madness. Hit that like button down below as well. Please share this link out. Every single share is so massive. Please share it out as it helps YouTube recognize that more people are enjoying what they're watching. Now let's get back to the basketball. Good luck to your team.
Play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on channel 157.
A 5'11 senior from Greensboro, North Carolina. Number 6, Jamari Thomas. And at guard, a 6'2 senior from Fort Mill, South Carolina. Number 1, Jacoby Wright. And the head coach of the Gamecocks, Coach Lamont Paris. And now for the Arkansas Razorbacks. At forward, a 6'10 junior from Springfield, Missouri. Number 4, Trevin Brazil. At forward, a 6'6 freshman from Tampa, Florida. Number 11, Carter Knox. At forward, a 7'2 sophomore from Croatia. Number 44, Zvonimir Ivisic. At guard, a 6'4 sophomore from Camden, New Jersey. Number 21, DJ Wagner. And at guard, a 6'4 senior from Gary, Indiana. Number 1, Nelly Davis. And the head coach of the Razorbacks, Coach John Calipari.
John Calipari's in his first year at Arkansas. He's going for SEC tournament win number 25 of his career today, facing off against the former SEC Coach of the Year, Lamont Paris. He won that honor a year ago. Kevin, we talked about bigs. Let's talk about guards now. DJ Wagner has been the straw stirring the drink for this Arkansas team. How dangerous a player is he?
He's really good. I mean, he plays a ton of minutes, but he's effective for those guys. I mean, he makes shots from outside. He's one of those guards that can score at all 3 levels, gets downhill, gets to the rim, and then hits the 3-ball. So he's a really good one, too.
He has been good. John L. Davis was a guy who was highly sought after out of the portal before the year started, played on a Final Four team at Florida Atlantic, and he's given them the outside shooting lift they've needed to go with Wagner in the backcourt.
You know, teams these days, especially in this conference, how tough it is. You've got to have three-point shooting. If you don't have a three-point shooter out there on the floor at all times, I mean, it's tough to win ball games, and John L. Davis has been really good. 15 points per game in his last 12.
Spoken like a guy who knows a little bit about shooting three-pointers, by the way.
Long time ago.
South Carolina in black as the lower seed today. Gamecocks in white across the chest. White letters and numbers. The Carolina C with that rooster in the middle on either side of the trunks. Arkansas is the higher seed in this one. In white today, the Cardinal numbers. They've got the Razorback hog across the chest. And they've got Cardinal letters on the back. Cardinal piping down the side of those white jerseys and trunks. Courtney Green will toss the ball today. Owen Short and Chuck Jones round out this 3-man crew to get us started here in Music City, USA. Glad to have you with us for the opening game of the SEC tournament. Nick Pringle will jump for South Carolina against Big Z. Zvonimir Ivisic at 7'2". Courtney Green's a tall guy, but he won't quite get to the shoulders on Ivisic as he moves in there. Steps in between the two and that big SEC logo at midcourt. The toss is in the air. Avicic slaps it in backcourt to our right, where Wagner tracks it down for Arkansas. And this game is underway. Arkansas attacking the hoop to our left. Wagner sliding right outside the arc. Now he attacks the logo, puts it up with the left hand. It's blocked by Davis inside, and it goes across the baseline. Back to Arkansas with 14 to shoot.
Tough shot right there. Got all the way to the lane, but, Davis with those long arms and big body underneath, he was able to extend and get the block.
DJ Wagner will play it in on the right side of the baseline. Into Avicic. Hands back to Wagner. Pick and roll with Big Z. The pass is off the mark inside, and it's intercepted by South Carolina. They get it up to Jamari Thomas, who brings it across the line. Hands it off out front for Murray Boyles. He fakes the three, dumps it inside. Pringle turns against Avicic. Can't finish against the 7'2" big man. And Avicic pulls the board for Arkansas. To John L. Davis at the top. Stop and go dribble. Spins right to the logo. Now he's picked that dribble. Looking for Avicic. Lobs it to him. He catches with the right hand. Right of the lane. Back to the basket. Gets it into the corner right side. Knox will fire a 15-footer on the baseline. That's off the heel no, and the rebound saved in by Zachary Davis for Carolina. The Gamecocks are running. Ahead to Thomas. Drives the baseline into a double team. Up to Murray Boyles at the top. One more to right. Three left wing is on target, and South Carolina takes a 3-0 lead.
You can tell how bad South Carolina wants it. They're really guarding on one end and moving the ball well, just like that. One more pass for an open three.
18:42 to play in the first half, and Carolina with the early lead against Arkansas, 3-2. John L. Davis on the left wing, driving on right, spins to his left, gets under the goal, puts it up with the left hand and scores. What a crafty dribble by John L. Davis to create some space, and he's pulled Arkansas within 3-2.
Yeah, he's just such a veteran. He knows where to pick and choose his spots, and when he gets there, he's pretty good.
Colin Murray Boyles, top of the arc for for South Carolina. To Davis, left corner, around to right wing. Dumps it inside for Nick Pringle, who came over from Alabama. Out top, Thomas lines one up straight on and knocks down the triple. South Carolina stretches its lead to 4, 6-2, thanks to a couple of long-range bombs early.
Well, they're doing everything on the perimeter. Not much inside, but they're making shots on the perimeter.
Wagner for Arkansas in white, attacking the hoop to our left here at Bridgestone Arena. Sets up shop high and wide on the right side, guarded by Murray Boyles, the 5-man out front. Gets it to Knox. Carter Knox drives into the logo. Now kicks it out to Trevin Brazil. He'll fire a three, and he knocks it down. The first bomb for Arkansas, and the Razorbacks are within 1 at 6-5.
He's been really good lately. 60% from the field, 50% from three in the last 4 games.
Thomas out front. Loops it to Colin Murray Boyles. The lefty will fire a three. He knocks it down. Carolina knocking him in from outside the arc early. 3 trays for the Gamecocks, and they lead 9-5. Arkansas with it. They play pick and roll. Avicic driving right of the lane, puts it up, gets fouled by Pringle on his way to the 10, and he'll earn the first free throws in this game with 17-12 to play in the first half.
Give South Carolina credit. I mean, they're doing a good job on these ball screens, and then when the ball does go inside, they're walling up, making it really difficult for the Razorbacks to get shots up in the paint.
Foul is on Nick Pringle, number 1 on him, number 1 on South Carolina. And here's Avicic at the line to our left, a 70.5% foul shooter. Slight bend to the knees at 7'2". You don't have to bend him much, and good rotation, and that one's home.
He's a really good shooter. I mean, he can step away from the basket at 7'2". One of the few guys in college basketball that's made as many threes as he has and got the block shots.
47 threes to go with 60 blocks this year, more than 60. Here's his second free throw. That's good. He makes 2 out of 2. And he's pulled Arkansas to within 2. South Carolina 9, Arkansas 7. 17:09 to go in the first half here in Nashville. Jacoby Wright, deep right side for Arkansas. Sends it cross court to Zachary Davis. Loops it down low. Rescued down there by Wright on the baseline. Steps out in the corner. Fires an 18-footer that comes up short. And Trevin Brazil rips the rebound for Arkansas. To John L. Davis. Stop and go at the top. Inside. Challenges Colin Murray Boyles, and he gets fouled. He'll get to the line for a pair of free throws. Arkansas getting downhill with those guards and getting rewarded with shots at the free throw line.
Well, South Carolina, like I just mentioned, they're doing a good job of making Arkansas shoot difficult twos. That's what you want to do in a game like this. Make them shoot tough twos. Now, what they can't do is get in foul trouble. And, early, a couple of fouls early can lead to, some foul trouble, especially late in a game like this.
So here's John L. Davis at the line to our left. He's connected on north of 83% this year, and he knocks down the first. Arkansas is within 1, 9-8. A change for South Carolina. Morris Agusic checks in Guy who's their best shooter from three by the percentages this year. He replaces Jacoby Wright. Second free throw, front rim, back rim, and in for John L. Davis. An early 4-of-4 start for Arkansas at the free throw line, and this game is tied at 9 with 16:43 to play until recess. Thomas, deep left wing to Colin Murray Boyles at the top to a Gusick left wing. Cross court Davis, right corner, drives in, wanted to hammer it over Avicic and got fouled. John Calipari can't believe it. He's got his hands out to his side, yelling at Courtney Green, who made the call. But Davis, going through the air, will get to the line with a chance to put South Carolina back in front.
Well, there was definitely contact right there. And when you go to take it to the rim over a 7'2" guy, you're trying to get on SportsCenter with a play like that.
Davis at 6'7", trying to leap over Avicic at 7'2". First free throw for Davis comes up short. Zachary Davis, a 74% free throw shooter, coming off his sixth double-figure scoring game against the SEC this year at Tennessee. 10 points and 7 boards in that loss in the finale. Second free throw is home, and Carolina nudges back in front, 10-9. 16:30 to play in the first half here at Bridgestone Arena. DJ Wagner working out front against Davis in a good defensive stance. Now Murray Boyles picks him up. Again, a point guard against a 5 out here on the perimeter. In the corner to Trevin Brazil. Drives to the free throw line. Pitches out front to Davis straight away against Agusic. Goes behind the back to the logo. Pocket pick by Pringle. Ball coming our way and right into the hands of one of the assistant commissioners. The SEC in front of us. Showing off some good hands here with 16:09 to play in the first half. Arkansas gets the ball back off the deflection.
Garth Glissman there with the great save of us.
Party on, Garth. Great catch. 16:09 to play first half. It is a 10-9 lead for Carolina. Carter Knox waiting to play the ball in. And we've got a Carolina player with a cut. That's Zachary Davis. So the officials want to make sure they get that sealed up across the way. Davis is back out there. Didn't need much time at all. And now the side out comes into Avicic for Arkansas. To John L. Davis. Driving on Agusic. Right corner Brazil. Catch and shoot three. Short at the buzzer. And the rebound taken by Colin Murray Boyles for South Carolina. Gets it ahead to Jamari Thomas. Down the right lane line on Knox. Fades. Fires off the square. That one won't go. A battle for the rebound underneath. Saved it along the baseline by Knox for Arkansas. Razorbacks are running. Davis to the free throw line. Pitches back Knox for a trail. 3 at the top. Front rim blasted off. And the rebound slapped out across the baseline by Zanavir Avicic. By Colin Murray Boyles. The two bigs battling for it. And Arkansas will have the ball after our first timeout. 15:42 left in the first half. South Carolina leads Arkansas 10-9 in the opening game of the SEC tournament. This is the SEC Radio Network.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal.
Number 3, ready?
And knowing just how we're going to get there.
8 seconds, it's plenty of time.
So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too, when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Green Print plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC.
Cheers, basketball fans. Who are you rooting for today in this matchup? Well, get loud in the chat, cheer them on, and hang out with a bunch of people from all over the world. And while we're doing that, the main reason is this SickKids Hospital and Toronto Sports Insider Bracket Mania campaign that is now live. It is underway. Please check the link that is in the description as well as pinned in the chat. And donate if you are able. If not, please share it out. We are going to raise, the goal is at least $100,000 for SickKids Hospital from now until a champion is crowned at the Final Four. We'll see you back in the chat. Go, whichever team it is you're going for. Go Gators.
You all week long by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Gatorade, the official sports drink of the SEC. Gatorade, it fuels the best because it is the best. By Regions, official bank of the SEC. And by T-Mobile 5G home internet.
15:42 to play in the first half here at Bridgestone Arena. South Carolina leads Arkansas 10-9 with the New Mexico and Baylor sharpshooter, Kevin Henry. I'm Neil Price. We're glad to have you with us today. And Kevin, are you a little surprised early on, a South Carolina team that for the season, has shot 31.5% from the three-point line, has made 3 threes, the bulk of their offense coming from behind the perimeter.
Well, there's a couple of things, Neil. What they do is they're swinging the ball along the perimeter, and Arkansas is so big down underneath, so they're trying to get everything they can outside, and it's working for them. Their 3 made field goals, 3 made threes are coming off of 3 assists, which is huge. You want to continue to move the basketball. When you get stuck on one side of the floor, one player gets to dribbling a ton of times, it's just too hard to score in this league. You have to be able to move the basketball along the perimeter and then make passes through the middle to cut. If you can dribble, drive, and get downhill, that's great. But if you can't, drive and kick and find an open shooter.
I think you talked about this a little bit earlier, the importance of Carolina defending Arkansas without fouling. Arkansas shot 4 free throws in the first 4 minutes of the game. In their last 4 wins against Missouri, Texas, Vanderbilt, and Mississippi State, they have averaged nearly 29 attempts a game at the free throw line. They have made 22 a game at the free throw line. You don't want to put them there. It could become a long day.
Yeah, I tell you what, you want to keep everybody off the foul line. And a good thing that South Carolina is doing right now, they're playing a switch 5 defense. They're switching all 5 spots. That's why you'll see CMB out there guarding a guard. I mean, he's good enough. I mean, that's why he's on draft boards right now, because he's so good at switching all 5 positions and can stay down in the stands and take away shots.
Murray Boyles is not out there as play resumes. Butler takes over for him. It's a baseline out for Arkansas, and they get it to Wagner, left of the circle out front. Shot clock's down to 10. DJ Wagner behind the back, lost the handle. No, Murray Boyles is out there. He's guarding Wagner. They get in the corner left side to Brazil. Brazil at the elbow, 4 to shoot, turns, drops it down low. Avicic tried to throw it across the lane. It's deflected and stolen by South Carolina. Gamecocks in transition. Davis down the right lane line. Contested layup won't go against Carter Knox, and Arkansas comes away with it. Arkansas down 1 with the ball. Inside of Avicic, low block right, jump hook right hand, off glass, spins off the left edge, and the rebound taken by Colin Murray Boyles for South Carolina. Thomas, Murray Boyles, Butler, Davis, and Agusic over in the far corner. Thomas out front, pushes a pass to Davis on the right wing. Now gets it to Morris Agusic. John L. Davis right up against him. No one will give him a chance to pull the trigger. Left wing, they'll get it to Davis. He'll fire a 3. It's short off the left edge. And Zanavir Avicic pulls the rebound for Arkansas. Up the right sideline in front court to Wagner. He'll launch a 3. The heat check is on early, and DJ Wagner has his first hoop of the game. He's given Arkansas a 12-10 lead.
He's been playing some really good basketball, and a lot of it is that step-in 3 that he does. He brings it across half court and pulls the trigger.
Carolina with it down 1. Thomas high and wide on the right side to CMB. Colin Murray Boyles between the rings. Now to Morris Agusic, left side. Agusic off the screen, gets to the logo. Jump pass into the right corner to Zachary Davis. Underneath, Murray Boyles had great post position under the rim against Trevin Brazil. His right-hand scoop won't go, but Brazil fouls him. And he'll put Colin Murray Boyles at the free throw line with a chance to tie the game if he can make these 2 free throws.
Yeah, Murray Boyles is so good, especially underneath. I mean, he's kind of an undersized post man, especially when you talk about the next level. But right here in college basketball, he's huge underneath, and he's so good at getting position. He gets position on both sides of the blocks. He uses that baseline underneath there to run along that baseline and find his spot and get there and go up and get fouled.
The 70% foul shooter knocks down the first of 2. That is his 127th make at the free throw line this year. Entering the tournament, he was 4th in the league in free throws made. He's pulled Carolina to within 1, this to tie it with 14-12 left in the first half. Takes a deep breath with the Arkansas band waving their instruments behind him. He fires and he knocks it down, and it's 12-all with 14-12 left in the half. As Carolina goes to the bench, Jacoby Wright checks back into the game after a breather. Murray Boyles goes out. And in for the first time, it's Arden Conyers, a Columbia native for Carolina. Arkansas with the ball. Billy Richmond checked in for the Razorbacks. He's got it left of the lane. Feeds Adu down low, and Jonas Adu lays it in. A quick hoop for him off the bench. It's 14-12. Davis steals the inbound for Arkansas. Drives in. Butler swats his layup attempt off the glass and comes away with the ball for South Carolina.
Yeah, great steal by Davis. Just didn't have enough numbers there. Should have brought it out and ran some offense.
Turnover doesn't hurt. Right with it to the free throw line. Down the right lane line. Scoops it short. And Avicic pulls the board for Arkansas. Razorbacks trying to build on a 2-point lead. 14-12 with 13:35 left in the half. Zanavira Visic, left wing, hands off to Knox, to Richmond at the top. Right of the lane now for Jonas Adu. Back to the basket, going to work on Butler. Muscles his way into the paint, squares up, 10-footer, good for Adu, off the bench, and 2 quick hoops for the Arkansas big man.
Well, and that's not his game. I mean, his back to the basket game, one move and score is hit, but at that time he caught it, faced up, and made a move.
16-12, Arkansas by 4. Carolina attacking the hoop to our right in their black uniforms. Left wing, Butler, he'll try a 3. He knocks it down. The 4th triple for South Carolina in the half, and the Gamecocks are back to within 1 at 16-15.
Well, they know where their bread is buttered. It's going to be outside. They have been struggling getting points in the paint, so they're making threes on the outside.
Billy Richmond left open at the top. He'll try a 3, and he answers one triple with one of his own to push Arkansas back in front, 19-15 with 12:40 left until halftime.
Yeah, Billy Richmond comes off the bench, has a green light. Coach Cal doesn't mind him pulling the trigger on those shots.
Adu Thero, his teammate, says he's the unsung hero of this Arkansas team, especially now small in numbers. Carolina with it, down 4. Jacoby Wright stands and holds between the rings against John L. Davis, and Arkansas's man-to-man. To Arden Conyers, right of the lane to Pringle. Squares up against Adu. Backs him in. Can't get a shot. Drops it out front for Wright. Wright down the lane, dumps it down low, and it's Butler who'll finish a contested lay-in against Adu to make it 19-17 Arkansas.
Great job building confidence underneath. If you can score, if you're South Carolina, you can score some 2-pointers in this game right here. That's going to help you down the road.
11:57 left in the half. John L. Davis at the elbow right side for the Razorbacks. Down low to Jonas Adu, backing his way in against Jordan Butler. Picks up his dribble, now loops it back out near the timeline to Davis. John L. Davis angling right, had it knocked away by Butler, and it goes off Butler and into the Carolina bench. Arkansas will have it after a timeout with 11:43 left in the first half. Arkansas 19, South Carolina 17. This is the SEC Radio Network.
Johnsonville asks, know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. The one that's watching the SEC tournament with us and hanging out here on Toronto Sports Insider as we raise money for SickKids Hospital. Wait, where I am? There I am. All right. Finally. Anyways, you get the point. Thanks for hanging out with us and listening to the game. And now that I've got your attention, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it for every single game of the SEC tournament live, as well as every game of March Madness live. Thanks for hitting that button, the subscribe button with the bell. Yeah, you got it. Thank you so much, and welcome to our awesome community. We'll see you back in the chat.
Free to play in the first half. South Carolina 19-17 in the opening game of the SEC tournament with Kevin Henry. I'm Neil Price. Glad to have you with us here from America's Music City. We got two teams playing a lot of string music here early on. Really good offense between these two in the first 8+ minutes of the game.
Well, for sure. I mean, South Carolina doing a good job shooting the ball from 3, 4 of 5 from 3, and they're moving it. 5 assists on their 5 made field goals. That's huge. I mean, I doubt they can keep that up the entire ball game, but that's a really big deal for them. Arkansas, on the other hand, doing a lot of one-on-one. I mean, they have really highly recruited, really good players that are capable of getting downhill, making moves for themselves, And so that's where they're coming in, only 1 assist on their 6 made field goals. But they're so good underneath, and they rebound the basketball well. And this is why Arkansas is a really good basketball team. South Carolina knows that this is their only path to the NCAA tournament. I mean, they got to win this thing here. And so they're playing like their life is on the line. And so they're leaving it all on the floor, making good shots, really, testing Arkansas defensively, which has been really good. They're doing a good job there. So this is why this is a close game, Neil.
Arkansas has played its way off the bubble and into the field, according to most of the major bracketologists in college basketball. John Calipari had a great comment after his team beat Mississippi State to close out the regular season. Said, everybody put us in a coffin, but they forgot the nails. Yep. In true Cal form. 11:43 left in this first half. Arkansas 19, South Carolina 17. It'll be the Razorbacks ball with Knox, Brazil. They've got Richmond, Adu, and it will be DJ Wagner to play. Now, Arkansas only plays 7 men now. Their top 2 scorers this year, Boogie Flan and Adu Thero, have missed significant time down the stretch, so it's pretty impressive. They've been able to do this with small numbers and down their top 2 guys. Comes into Knox off the side out, drives to the free throw line, fires a 15-foot over Arden Conyers, and Benjamin Bozeman's Verdonk in on the front line, grabs the rebound for South Carolina. Earlier this week, named the SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year, South Carolina's first in program history.
3rd-year law student.
Yep, right. Into the lane, tried to fire it down low for Pringle, and it's deflected and stolen by Jonas Adu. To Billy Richmond III, angling right. Verdonk tries to keep him on the right side. He finds Wagner for 3. That's off the heel, and Brazil up the ladder battling with Pringle. Watches Pringle tap this one out. He'll tap it out, and Arkansas will get it back with South Carolina get it back with 11:09 to play in the first half. It is early. It is game 1 as Conyers exits. Eventually, we'll get it straight. Zachary Davis is back in for Carolina. And it'll be Jamari Thomas to bring it up, who was the MEAC Player of the Year at Norfolk State a year ago before transferring to South Carolina. Angling right off the high screen at the top, picks up his dribble, finds Bozeman Verdonk, tries to throw it inside for Pringle. It's deflected and stolen by Brazil for Arkansas.
Just too much athleticism underneath for Arkansas.
Trevin Brazil against Bozeman's Verdonk on the right wing. Carolina man-to-man. Around to Richmond, left of the circle, drives to the elbow, tried to fire one up, and he gets fouled by Thomas. And he's going to earn his way to the free throw line with 10:39 left in this first half.
Yeah, Billy Richmond that time drove it middle with his right hand. He's a lefty, so putting it on the floor with his right hand, that's one of the things you try to push him towards on the scouting report. But that time he was able to turn the corner and draw the foul.
Well, Courtney Green's made a liar of me. I thought he was going up through the chest to shoot it. Instead, he just was judged to be driving. So Arkansas gets it on the baseline here with 10:39 left in the half, tried to build on a 19-17 edge.
I think he was shooting too, partner.
Good. At least I got one fan in the building today. Thank you. DJ Wagner between the rings, working against the taller Zachary Davis. Slides right off an Avicic screen. Down the left lane line, feeds Davis for a catch-and-shoot 3 in the corner. That line drive shot is short. Rebounded by Colin Murray Boyles for Carolina. Ahead to Thomas, driving in, puts it off the glass, and it's slapped on the way down by Trevin Brazil. Goaltending called by Chuck Jones, and that'll tie the game at 19-all.
Well, if you're South Carolina, you want to drive the basketball to the basket, but you have to be extra careful. That time goaltending was called, but if you go in there and try to dodge contact, these Arkansas players will swat it out of bounds.
They absolutely have rim protectors of Avicic, Brazil, Adu. They can all guard the rim. Richmond for Arkansas with the Razorbacks trying to break a 19-all tie at the midway point of this first half. DJ Wagner at the top. Wanted to give it to Avicic, who went to set a screen, and it's stolen by Carolina. Ahead to Murray Boyles in transition, and he'll drive in for a left-hand lay-in. And a timeout taken by John Calipari, who is furious, walking over to talk with Avicic, who has a few words back for his coach as they huddle up across the way with 9:57 to play in this first half. It just goes to show you, in a tight game, every play, Kevin, can make a difference, and a miscommunication there leads to a run-out 2 for Carolina.
Absolutely. And in Carolina, again, I keep saying this, they're switching 5 defensively, so it's really throwing Arkansas for a loop. Those guys are coming off ball screens expecting either to be trapped or double-teamed or something like that, and they're just switching it. They're staying staying at home, staying in front of those guys, and making them make decisions on the move. And it's a hard decision to make. When you come off a ball screen, what do? As an offensive player, you expect to have a little bit of an edge. But here, you're not getting that edge. And so Arkansas is turning the basketball over and things like that. And South Carolina is able to capitalize, push it the other way.
It's a 2-point lead for Carolina, 21-19. We talked about how Carolina's bigs were important in that resounding win for Carolina in Columbia back on March the 1st. They beat Arkansas 72-53 on that day. Bigs haven't factored as much today as guards. And bigs, too. A couple of those big guys have pulled the trigger on some threes. But these two teams early are a combined 7 of 12 on the three-point line.
Absolutely. And what Arkansas is doing, Neil, is they're making it tough underneath. And so South Carolina, their answer to that is, well, let's just step outside and shoot the three ball.
Richmond brings it across the 10-second line for Arkansas in white, attacking the hoop to our left here in the first half. Gets it to Adu, who gives it back to Richmond at the top. Underhand pass to Davis. He spots for three. That one's off the right edge. No. Rebounded underneath by Billy Richmond, and he goes up between two Gamecocks and banks it in.
Well, Billy Richmond, again, he's one of those tweeners. He's a guy that brings the ball across half court, but also can get dirty underneath. That time, offensive rebound, put back.
It's a winning play, 21-21 with 9:25 to play until halftime. Thomas tried to float one down low for Pringle. Intercepted by Richmond. Throws to Davis. Driving in. Contested right-hand runner off the heel, and it falls in. A tough finish for John L. Davis in transition. And Arkansas is back up to 23-21.
Momentum is going to be huge in a game like this. Tight score game. You got to find that way to get momentum.
Jacoby Wright on the right wing for Carolina in black. Out top to Zachary Davis, who's hit a three in this game. Crossing over against Trevin Brazil. Gets it to the top to Murray Boyles. Back to Davis. He'll fire another three. This time he comes up blank. And the rebound taken by Jonas Adu for Arkansas. To Billy Richmond III. Right wing Wagner open for a three, and he drains it. Can't leave him open out there. Arkansas knocks down a three to take a 5-point lead, 26-21, and South Carolina takes a timeout with 8:37 left in the half.
We just talked about momentum. There you have it. Arkansas gets a steal, runs down and gets a lay-in, and then the second next play, they hit an open three.
I'm not breaking news to anybody on that Carolina bench, but in the last 5 games, DJ Wagner, 42% from three, and they left him wide open. Nobody found him in transition defense that time.
Well, you don't have a man in transition defense. That's the thing, Neil. You have to just get back, stop the ball, and everybody else has to point and talk, and you got to find people, and that's one of the guys, like you said, you got to find him in transition. You cannot afford to leave him open.
It has not been an up-and-down game, but the offensive game has been very good. If you're just joining us, both teams shooting 50% from the floor. Carolina 7 of 14. Arkansas is 9 of 18 so far. Both teams have been very good from the three-point line. Carolina's been exceptional. They are 4 of 6 from out there, and Arkansas 4 of 9 from the three-point line here in the early going.
Well, Arkansas, they're so fast. They run up and down the floor so fast, and they score in a hurry. They're on a 7-0 run here in under a minute. 59 seconds, they're 7-0 run. That's incredible.
Adu, Brazil, Wright, Wagner, and Carter Knox is in for Richmond here. Those are the 5 on defense for Arkansas. Carolina on offense with Davis, Thomas, Murray Boyles, Butler, and Jacoby Wright. Wright's got it on the right wing. Trying to get inside the arc. Bounces it mid-post right for Murray Boyles. Squares up on Adu. Fakes, can't get a shot. Gets it out top. Now they get it to Murray Boyles. Murray Boyles down the lane, up with the left hand, and he lays it in. Colin Murray Boyles finishes in traffic. That breaks that 7-0 run for Arkansas, and Carolina's within 3, 26-23.
That's a huge bucket for him, but he comes up grimacing, so hopefully he's not hurt off that play.
Wagner at the top for Arkansas with 7:59 left in the half. Down low, Jonas Adu just muscling his way in on Butler, banks it up and in. Too much man there as Jonas Adu just keeps going in, and Butler comes away holding his ribs on the right side. Just could not stand up to Adu's side.
Yeah, and I tell you, Butler should have taken the fall on that. Try to draw the charge. You know you're outmanned, outstrength underneath there. Take the charge.
Right. For Carolina. Bounces it to Zachary Davis in the right corner. One-on-one with Jonas Adu. Drives in. Here comes the help. Top-down double. Gets it to Murray Boyles. Back to Davis. Tried the hammer pass across the baseline. Throws it over the Arkansas bench and out of bounds. So a Carolina turnover takes us to a timeout with 7:26 to play in the first half. Arkansas leading South Carolina 28-23 here in the opening game of the SEC tournament. This is the SEC Radio Network.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the old basketball hoop in your driveway, and I'm rustier than your game. I mean, seriously, I should have been replaced back in '99. So when you go up for a dunk,
Cheers, Insiders! Thanks for hanging out with us this afternoon, this evening, this morning, the middle of the night, wherever it is where you're watching from. Thank you for spending your time with us here and cheering on whatever team it is that you're rooting for in the SEC tournament. Please do us a favor and let's get some more basketball fans here in the chat to help us raise money for SickKids Hospital in Toronto and have a really good time partying it up during March Madness. Hit that like button down below as well. Please share this link out. Every single share is so massive. Please share it out as it helps YouTube recognize that more people are enjoying what they're watching. Now let's get back to the basketball. Good luck to your team.
Without a fee. That means this solo travel queen can stay an extra day on vacay. No fee, baby. And these two lovebirds get one more day of freedom.
Our kids won't miss us. They're with Meemaw.
Well, this poor guy can bail on the bachelor party a night early.
I'm tired, man.
No change or cancel fees. For real. That's a big flex. Only at Southwest. Fare difference may apply. Failure to cancel a reservation at least 10 minutes prior to scheduled departure may result in forfeited flight credits.
Kevin Henry and Neil Price with you here at Bridgestone Arena in downtown Nashville. Opening day of the SEC tournament. 7:26 to play in the first half. Arkansas leads South Carolina 28-23. It has been a game, Kevin, that hasn't necessarily been played at the highest tempo. Carolina would like to keep it that way. They're a really half-court oriented offense, but it's been one where both teams have been very efficient here early because the ball's moving.
Yeah, both teams shooting above 50% right now, which is really good. South Carolina has to stay connected. They're down 5 here, 28-23 here with about 7:26 to go in the first half. You have to stay connected. The last couple of times you talk about momentum, they had a couple of turnovers that led to Arkansas buckets, and you cannot afford to get in the air and be indecisive with the basketball. You have to know what you want to do every time down.
The only good thing about the turnover is it's a dead ball turnover. They don't give Arkansas a chance to get out and run. And early on, just 4 points off turnovers between the two teams. So they've both done a pretty good job of making sure they don't allow the other to get into transition.
That's exactly right. You cannot afford. We talked about the speed and quickness and athleticism of Arkansas. South Carolina does not want to get in a track meet with these guys. They would much prefer to bring it down, slow it down just a hair, but then still, play fast in your half-court offense and move the basketball. Make Arkansas shift from side to side, and that's when you get those open shots on that weak side wing.
Kevin talked about it a little bit earlier, but Carolina's only path to the postseason is they have to win the SEC tournament at 12-19. Arkansas has played its way in, according to most folks. We talked about that earlier. So you've got two teams in some ways that have different motivations for this game today. Arkansas obviously now trying to improve seeding. They want to get their team at a place where they feel really good with some confidence going into the NCAA. And it's more of a pride thing for a lot of guys on this Carolina team, including maybe Colin Murray-Boyles, who may be playing his last game today because he's draft eligible and projected to be a high pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah, he's on everybody's draft boards, pretty much a lottery pick lock for a lot of teams. And again, he does such a good job. Offensively, can score it, but defensively, he can guard. He switches 5, plays really good D as well.
He's guarded the point plenty of times in the first half already today and playing with a bum hip. Wagner with it for Arkansas. Wants to lob to Adu, who makes the catch and is able to guide it in with that left hand over Jordan Butler. 30-23 Arkansas.
Yeah, I thought there was some contact there on that play, but good job of catching it in the air and laying it in with the left hand.
Murray Thomas out front for South Carolina working against DJ Wagner. Conyers now around to Morris Agusic. Left wing out top. Conyers will launch a 3. That kicks off the heel. Long rebound. Kicked at the top of the arc. And it goes out of bounds along the near sideline off South Carolina. Arkansas gets it back, leading by 7, 30-23. with 6:52 to play in the half, and John Calipari goes to the bench to bring in Billy Richmond III to replace Carter Knox.
When your team, you don't have many options. If you're Coach Calipari, you don't have many options over there. You have so many guys that are injured, so you have to continue to rotate your fresh guys in as much as you can to keep them fresh.
Arkansas attacking the hoop to our left. They go into a three-man weave out front. Now they get it to Wagner, to Adu. At the elbow right side. He's so big. When he straddles, he's almost to the three-point line at the elbow. Hands it off out front to Wagner. Wagner inside to Adu, who had posted underneath against Butler, and Butler reaching in trying to deflect the pass. Gets called for a foul.
Butler's just outsized underneath with both of these Arkansas post players. Brazil is so good, and I'll tell you what, Adu is as well. And so those guys are really causing some trouble down there for Butler.
Butler's first foul. Hadn't been many fouls today. That's the fourth on Carolina. There have only been 6 in the first half between the two teams with 6:34 left until halftime. Baseline out of bounds for Arkansas. Comes into Davis. 10-footer right baseline is good. Just a quick hitter there, and John L. Davis makes it 32-23 Arkansas.
Again, another guy that's so good. Davis can come off of those screens, and he knows how to raise up and make a shot.
Colin Murray Boyles for South Carolina. To Morris Agusic, right wing. Hands it off there for Jamari Thomas. They swing it around the arc right to left. In the corner for Conyers. To Murray Boyles, left wing. Goes to work on Adu off the bounce on the baseline. Out to Thomas. A pump fake. Spots for 3 and drains it. Thomas with a much-needed triple for Carolina to stop the bleeding. And the Gamecocks are back within 6. Arkansas 32, Carolina 26. Richmond for the Razorbacks, top of the arc. The Jonas Adu, foul line extended right, give and go with Richmond to the rim. Can't finish, a contorting right-hand lay-in. And the rebound taken off by Colin Murray Boyles for South Carolina. Thomas, left wing, thought about the deep three, but Brazil closed out on him. That's a tough one to get a shot up over out there as a guard. To Murray Boyles in the right corner, drives the baseline and bounces it out of bounds. So another Carolina turnover. We'll give it back to Arkansas with the Razorbacks leading it by 6 with 5:31 left in the opening 20 minutes.
Well, Murray Boyles, again, he's a lefty. He's really strong left-handed player. It's hard to go baseline on that right wing with your left hand. I mean, that's the opposite hand you want to dribble with. He had an opportunity to swing it and go middle. Should have did that.
Took a knee to the left hip against Tennessee and has had no real full speed activity since before the game today. Brazil drives baseline, a collision down low, and we've got a blocking foul on South Carolina. Foul's going to go on Morris Agusic. That's going to be his first and Carolina's 5th. Baseline out of bounds here for Arkansas with 20 to shoot. Richmond will play it down the right side of the baseline. Comes into Davis again. That 10-footer on the baseline won't go. Adu pulls the offensive board. Out to Richmond. Drives in. Goes right through Pringle. And Nick Pringle hits the deck, but he never could get square. And Pringle's going to give up a foul here for Carolina. That'll be the 6th on the Gamecocks with 5:08 left in the half. And it's going to be Arkansas's ball on the baseline.
Well, that was the right call. It was a bang-bang play. Even Billy Richmond dropped his shoulder, which is normally a charge call, but it was the right call. Moving their feet, always a block.
2 fouls on Nick Pringle now for South Carolina as Arkansas gets it into Adu right of the lane. Adu hands off Wagner. Wagner drives baseline, goes up through Pringle and banks it in. Not scared of the big underneath, realizing he had 2 fouls, tried to go at him for that 3rd and makes it 34-26 Arkansas.
Yeah, smart play. Pringle did not want to pick up a 3rd.
Thomas driving baseline against Adu and Wagner, steps through the double team, gets it to Morris Agusic left of the lane, down the lane now, and the lay-in won't go for Conyers. It gets blocked, but he gets fouled. And with 15 to shoot, Carolina's going to get to the free throw line, trailing 34-26.
Arkansas had South Carolina bottled up on that possession, but they used that hockey space, Neil, that space underneath the basket right there to dribble underneath and then make a pass to the cutter, cutting to the basket.
DJ Wagner picks up the foul for Arkansas as Arden Conyers goes to the line to shoot 2 times. First one for the right-hander is good. Arden Conyers is an 80% foul shooter. He's not had a ton of attempts. That was just his 25th make in 31 tries across 23 games. Morris Agusic exits. He talks with Lamont Paris over at the top of the Carolina bench. Jacoby Wright comes back in. Conyers' second free throw is on the way. Good rotation, and it's home. 34-28 Arkansas. 4:42 to play in the first half. Wagner out front for the Razorbacks. Gives it to Jonas Adu, who came over from Tennessee prior to the start of the season. Back to Wagner, who started his career at Kentucky. John Calipari tried to build a team around him there. Now has built one around him here at Arkansas. Wagner fires a three, left wing. That kicks off the left edge of the 10. And Colin Murray-Boyles gets the rebound for South Carolina. Up to Thomas. Thomas slides left off a staggered screen. Hits Murray-Boyles on the right side. He'll fire a three. That one barely drew iron. Saved in underneath by Conyers, and it goes into the Arkansas bench and out of bounds.
Yeah, Murray-Boyles, you can tell he's struggling with his hip. He didn't have any lift to that shot. With no lift, you got to understand it's going to be short. So if that's your MO today, you got to get downhill. You got to get to the basket. Go get fouled. Would like to see him get to the foul line some here in the first half.
Benjamin Bozeman-Verdonk checks in. He'll replace Colin Murray-Boyles. He'll get a breather here with 4:10 left. Immediate timeout coming in the next dead ball inside of 4 minutes. So get a little extra time out of this. As Wagner brings it up for Arkansas. Bounces to Adu. That pass is deflected out of bounds across the baseline by Carolina. And Arkansas will throw it in on the right side of the baseline with 21 left on the shot clock. Wagner to trigger out there with Brazil, Richmond, Davis, and Adu. Throws it into Adu. Wanted to hand it back to Wagner. Instead, he'll go to work on Bozeman-Verdonk. Dribbles out top, hands to Davis, right wing, back inside to Adu, turns and puts in a right-hand floater to give Arkansas a 36-28 lead.
Yeah, South Carolina does not have an answer for the Arkansas bigs. They're scoring down low too often, and when it's not the bigs, it's a guard getting an 8 or 10-foot jumper.
Kind of a complete turnaround from when these teams played earlier in March. Conyers, three left wing for Carolina, clangs off the front rim, and the rebound secured by Jonas Adu underneath for Arkansas. Ahead to Davis, fakes the three, drives down the left lane line, a pump fake, feeds it out top. Adu, he'll fire a three. That one's short. Rebound grabbed right of the lane by Arden Conyers for South Carolina. 36-28 Arkansas, 3:17 to go on this ticking first half clock. Thomas out top, draws a double team, bounces out of that to Pringle straight away. To Bozeman-Verdonk, left of the circle, left wing right. Get it around to Thomas. Thomas in the trees, gets by Brazil to the rim, gets a seal from Pringle, and he'll finish the right-hand lay-in. 36-30. Carolina back within 6 with 2:54 to play until halftime.
Yeah, give Pringle credit for that one. He was the one who was able to shield his man off and not let the help side get there.
Wagner, deep right wing. Gets it to Brazil at the top. He'll tee up a three. That one's good for Trevin Brazil. Calm, cool, and collected, and it's 39-30 Arkansas.
Brazil has been playing so good lately, shooting the ball great. Started the season slow, but he's really picked it up.
Thomas penetrates to the free throw line, fades and fires from 15. Off the left edge, no. And the rebound taken by Adu again for Arkansas. Fires it ahead to Wagner. Wagner out of a double team to Adu. 15-footer right of the lane. That one's good. Adu showing the mid-range game, and all of a sudden Arkansas has opened it up to double digits. It's 41-30 as the Hog fans come alive here in Nashville.
Yeah, when they're making those shots, Neil, there's not much South Carolina can do.
Jacoby Wright in a triple threat position on the right wing. Shot clock at 15 as we move inside 2 minutes for the half. Around to Nick Pringle on the left wing. Hands to Thomas. Goes left off the screen. Plays pick and roll. Pringle down the lane. Scoops it up with the left hand short. And the rebound tapped out of bounds underneath by Bozeman-Verdonk. And that will give it back to Arkansas after a timeout. 1:47 left in the first half. Arkansas with its biggest lead of the game. 41-30 over Carolina. This is the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
Live from Nashville, this is the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
We know that sport has the power to change lives on and off the field, but today, the majority of kids in the U.S. are no longer playing sports. As the leader in fueling athletes, Gatorade is committed to helping reverse this trend and creating positive change across our communities. That's why Gatorade has launched Fuel Tomorrow, a new multi-year initiative to help everyone have equal opportunity to play sports and realize their potential. Learn more about Gatorade's commitment to break down barriers and help millions of kids get into the game by visiting Gatorade.com/community.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and hand-smashed Angus patties seared to crispy perfection. How do I tell my favorite burger it's been replaced?
Easy. You don't. It's a burger. It has no feelings.
The Sonic Smasher. Try it as a double or triple. Live free, eat Sonic. See menu for details.
1:47 left in the first half. Arkansas leads South Carolina 41-30 with Kevin Henry. I'm Neil Price. Thank you for being with us today here at Bridgestone Arena. How about this? Arkansas plays a 7-man rotation. Their bench, 2 guys, outscoring South Carolina 17-7 as we get into the late stage of the first half. The biggest reason for that, and I do mean big in quotes, Jonas Adu.
Yeah, he's really good. 6 of 7 from the field, and he's even stepped out and pulled a 3-pointer. He didn't make it. That's his only miss. But he's been really good. 5 rebounds leading. He has a game-high 5 rebounds. And so he's been all over the place. And you saw that last possession there. Arkansas got the rebound and could have pushed it down the floor and got into some other type of a secondary break or whatnot. But what he did was Calipari called, he's told the guys, slow down. Let's run a ball screen right here, see what they do, and just pick and roll and get an easy short jumper. And sure enough, Adu screened, rolled, got the ball right 10 feet from the basket and raised up and made a nice 10-foot jump shot. And when he's making those, South Carolina does not have an answer. You talk about switching 5 players. That's good. That's all fine and dandy until that post player rolls into that mid-post area and starts making jump shots.
Arkansas is at 41 points right now with 1:47 left in the half. They'll have a chance to get halfway to 90 by the time this is over. They've averaged 90 a game in their last 4 wins, 4 of the last 5. Only time they didn't have a good offensive game was in that loss at South Carolina where they dropped it 72-53. John Calipari said after the game, he burned the tape. Wasn't my team, so I'm not going to watch it. Burn the tape.
Well, they're so efficient right now, shooting 55% from the field, 41% from 3. I mean, that's terrific. When you can be that efficient, and again, only 29 field goal attempts, I mean, that's really good basketball.
Okay, so there was a foul, not an out-of-bounds call to take us to that timeout. So Jonas Adu, who was fouled battling for the rebound, goes to the line on the 7th Carolina foul to shoot 1+1 at the line to our left. Adu turns it loose. That one's front rim, back rim, and in. And he has 13 off the bench in this first half. It's a 12-point lead for Arkansas, 42-30. Bozeman's Verdonk committed the foul for South Carolina, his first in the game. Here is Adu's second, working on a 14-point half in relief. And that one front rim glass and in. He's 2 out of 2 at the foul line. It is a 13-point edge for Arkansas, 43-30 with 1:43 to play until recess.
Adu's been the difference here in the first half.
Without question. On the glass, offense, you name it. He's doing it. Thomas, right wing for South Carolina. Bounces it to Murray Boyle, steps through the lane. One more pass underneath to Davis, and you heard Adu say, give me that. Blocks it off the glass and takes it away. Here's a feed ahead to Brazil, all the way to the cup. His right-hand lay-in won't go, but Murray Boyles puts him on the deck, and he's going to get to the line for a couple of free throws here with 1:19 left. They were lightning fast on that fast break.
That's what I was just going to mention. I mean, after the block and rebound, I mean, you blink of an eye, Arkansas's down the floor, laying the ball up and getting fouled.
Brazil heads to the free throw line. He's been a difference maker, too, since he had to go into the starting lineup for this Arkansas team. Entered the lineup against Texas after Adu Thiro's injury. His first free throw is good, 44-30. And since going into the starting lineup, averaging north of 10 points, almost 10 rebounds a game, and shooting 60%.
50% from 3.
Yeah, pretty good. Here's a second for Brazil, the right-hander with good rotation. That one is home, and it is a 15-point lead for Arkansas. Razorbacks have scored 8 straight inside the last 90 seconds and are in danger of cracking this thing wide open ahead of halftime. Carolina needs a basket in a bad way here. On the baseline, Davis, left side to Murray Boyles at the free throw line. Muscles his way down the left lane line, kicks it out to Davis for 3. Short, no, and another rebound for Jonas Adu. I was looking at Colin Murray Boyles. He's really slow getting up. That hip really starting to bother him here after he hit the deck.
Yep.
Wagner between the rings for Arkansas. They've done all this without the arrow. Down the left lane line to the rim, left-hand lane, good. Just too quick for Davis off the bounce, and it's 47-30, a 10-zip run for the Razorbacks.
South Carolina does not have an answer for this Arkansas offense right now. They're getting anything they want.
Thomas to Murray Boyles, right wing to Davis, driving right against the smaller John L. Davis along the baseline. Now they reverse out top to Thomas. Thomas down the lane, up and under, blocked from behind by Richmond. And it goes out of bounds. Carolina will get it back with 11 on the shot clock.
Again, Arkansas just blocking all these shots underneath and doing a lot of it without Ivisic in the ballgame.
We haven't seen Zvonimir Ivisic in a while. Adu's played so well, can't take him out of the game, it feels like. Carolina off the baseline out of bounds, gets it into gets it into Thomas left corner. His 15-footer comes up short. And Adu gets the rebound for Arkansas. 47-30, 5 seconds left in the half. Brazil takes a look over to Wagner. Deep 3 at the horn, short, no good, and that ends the first half. Arkansas on fire down the stretch, scoring 13 of the last 15 points inside the last 3:39, and it is Woo Pig Sooie at halftime here at Bridgestone Arena. Arkansas 47, South Carolina 30. Halftime programming just around the corner here on the SEC Radio Network.
And if you want to grab a snack, grab a Farm Rich snack. Something about that song just makes me hungry. Well, any requests? Oh, how about some mozzarella sticks instead? Folks, it's time for me to grab a snack. Feel free to do the same. You can find Farm Rich in the freezer aisle. This next one goes out to all the cheese lovers out there.
The Southeastern Conference. It's the land of legends, the places, the faces, and moments.
And he's going for it. It's a touchdown!
We've seen the confetti fall again and again. But we're not done. It's time for the next generation to make their mark and go from 14 deep to 16 strong. It's a whole new ball game in the SEC, and it just means more.
Listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament.
Wants to try another 3. He'll make another 3.
On the SEC Radio Network.
Johnsonville asks, know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Severance Season 2 is now streaming on Apple TV+.
What you all did 5 months ago was one of the most painful moments in the history of this company.
Our message got out. We're famous.
All of us equally, or one of us is like the star?
What did you see?
Mike Audie's wife was Miss Casey.
If you wouldn't find out what happened to her, I'll help.
She's still alive.
I want to see my wife.
We should have left.
Severance. New season now streaming. Only on Apple TV+.
With 20 minutes in the books, it's halftime on the SEC Radio Network. Brought to you by Farm Rich, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Grab a snack. Stats, analysis, and scores are all coming up. Now back to Nashville.
Halftime in Game 1 here on Day 1 of the SEC Tournament. 9th seed Arkansas and 16th seeded South Carolina hooking up in the first of 4 games of the day. It is all Arkansas at halftime. They lead South Carolina 47-30 at intermission. Stephen Hartzell with you courtside at Bridgestone Arena as we fire up the Johnsonville halftime show. Coming up, we'll check the bracket, not just here in Nashville, but everywhere else across the country as conference tournament week gets cranked up in a big way today from coast to coast. But first, we'll listen back to some first half highlights. When these two teams met in Columbia 2 weeks ago, it was not a very competitive game. Gamecocks jumped out to a huge lead in the first half and never looked back en route to a 19-point South Carolina win. Today, a much tighter affair early on. Both teams were getting shots to fall in the early going, and it was South Carolina from long range setting the tone early.
Out top, Thomas lines one up straight on and knocks down the triple. South Carolina stretches its lead to 4, 6-2, thanks to a couple of long-range bombs early.
Jamari Thomas from 3. That gave the Gamecocks an early 6-2 lead. South Carolina was hot from deep in the early going. They opened the game 4 of 5 from three-point land. Razorbacks were also hitting their early shots, and an early Gamecocks lead would give way to an Arkansas advantage.
Up the right sideline in front court to Wagner. He'll launch a 3. The heat check is on early, and DJ Wagner has his first hoop of the game. He's given Arkansas a 12-10 lead.
He's been playing some really good basketball, and a lot of it is that step-in 3 that he does. He brings it across half court and pulls the trigger.
DJ Wagner from deep. Arkansas went up 12-10. We had a back-and-forth affair in the first 10 minutes this afternoon, and it wasn't just the guards getting in on the scoring. Razorbacks big man Jonas Adu made his presence known in the paint.
Back to the basket, going to work on Butler. Muscles his way into the paint, squares up, 10-footer. Good for Adu off the bench, and 2 quick hoops for the Arkansas big man.
Well, and that's not his game. I mean, his back to the basket game, one move and score is hit, but at that time he caught it, faced up, and made a move.
Jonas Adu settling in with some high percentage shots. He's been the story in the first half. A game-high 14 points off the bench for Arkansas's big man, Jonas Adu. Both teams had little issue scoring in the first half. Ball was going into the hoop quite a bit. Razorbacks and Gamecocks both shooting above a 50% clip for just about the entire first half. But it wasn't long before somebody went on a run, and it was Arkansas who started to create some separation.
Thomas tried to float one down low for Pringle. Intercepted by Richmond. Throws to Davis. Driving in. Contested right-hand runner off the heel, and it falls in. A tough finish for John L. Davis in transition. And Arkansas is back up to 23-21.
John L. Davis with the jumper. That put Arkansas up by a pair, but that shot was part of a 7-0 spurt that would swell to an eventual 13-2 run by the Razorbacks. What was a back-and-forth game turned into a 9-point lead for the Razorbacks at 32-23. Arkansas's offense was starting to simmer. Inside, outside, it did not really matter. It wasn't a high-tempo game, not a lot of possessions, but the Razorbacks as a team started to pull away late in the first half.
Wagner, deep right wing. Gets it to Brazil at the top. He'll tee up a 3. That one's good for Trevin Brazil. Calm, cool, and collected, and it's 39-30 Arkansas.
Trevin Brazil from 3. That put Arkansas up 9 at 39-30. And the lead would continue to grow. Arkansas closes the first half on a 13-2 run over the final 3 minutes and 51 seconds. As a team, Hogs are shooting nearly 55% from the floor, 5 of 13 from 3. They are perfect from the charity stripe at 8 for 8 from the free throw line. Hogs getting it done on offense. They lead South Carolina by 17 points at halftime. Arkansas 47, South Carolina 30 at the break. More to come here on our Johnsonville halftime show. When we come back, we'll reset the bracket here on day 1 of the SEC tournament, and we'll check the scoreboard, get you caught up on everything else going on across conference tournament week. Arkansas up 47-30 at the half. We're back to Nashville after this on the SEC Radio Network.
When it comes to action-packed highlights, there's nothing like the SEC. And when it comes to packing your game day celebration with deliciousness, there's nothing quite like Bush's Beans. As the official beans of the SEC, we offer big taste for every fan and every tailgate, even if it never leaves your backyard. Come to think of it, we're kind of like the power conference of flavor. So draw up that beautiful bean game plan and stock up on your favorites. Bush's. that beautiful bean company.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament.
Wants to try another three. He'll make another three.
On the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the old basketball hoop in your driveway, and I'm rustier than your game. I mean, seriously, I should have been replaced back in '99. So when you go up for a dunk, I slam down onto your card. And if you don't have the right auto insurance, you might have to jump through a few hoops to pay for this. So get Allstate, save money, and get protected from mayhem like me.
Savings vary based on coverage selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on SEC Radio Network. Time now for the Regions Scoreboard Update. Regions, official bank of the SEC.
Halftime of our game here, game one, day one of the SEC tournament in downtown Nashville. Arkansas, the 9 seed, up big on 16th seeded South Carolina, 47-30. Of course, still to come here in downtown Nashville. Texas and Vanderbilt set to go immediately following the conclusion of this game. We expect it to start around 2:30 local time. In the nightcap this evening, or I should say in the evening session, Mississippi State and LSU will hook up first. That is a 6 o'clock Central tip in the 10-15 matchup. And Georgia and Oklahoma will close us out in the nightcap. That game expected to start around 8:30 local time. Looking around the rest of conference tournament week in the ACC tournament, second round action in Charlotte. Georgia Tech leads Virginia 63-60, less than 20 seconds to go in that one. Big 12 championship going on, second round action. Iowa State leads Cincinnati 54-48, 10 minutes to play in that one. Early round action of the American Athletic Conference Tournament, first round action. Rice leads Charlotte 34-23. That is a halftime score in the AAC. Of course, still to come, lots of basketball today. ACC tournament in Charlotte, Notre Dame taking on North Carolina. These are second round matchups. Cal will play Stanford, Syracuse taking on SMU. To the Big 12, we told you about Iowa State. They lead by 10 over Cincinnati. Still to come in Kansas City. We'll have West Virginia taking on Colorado, Baylor taking on Kansas State, and UCF taking on 6-seeded Kansas in the second round of the Big 12 tournament. Big East tournament gets going today at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Providence and Butler will get things going at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Later in the evening, it'll be DePaul and Georgetown. The nightcap is Seton Hall taking on Villanova. Big Ten tournament starts in Indianapolis later today. Northwestern, Minnesota get us started at 3:30 Eastern in Indianapolis. Ohio State and Iowa will hook up after that. And in the evening session, it'll be Rutgers taking on USC. So as you can tell, a lot of basketball, not just here in Nashville. We're excited to be with you as our wall-to-wall coverage gets started here on day one of the SEC tournament. Again, Arkansas leading South Carolina 47-30 at halftime. When we come back, we'll get ready to start the second half here at Bridgestone Arena. Razorbacks on top of South Carolina 47-30. We're back to Nashville after this on the SEC Radio Network.
We know that sport has the power to change lives on and off the field, but today, the majority of kids in the U.S. are no longer playing sports. As the leader in fueling athletes, Gatorade is committed to helping reverse this trend and creating positive change across our communities. That's why Gatorade has launched Fuel Tomorrow, a new multi-year initiative to help everyone have equal opportunity to play sports and realize their potential. Learn more about Gatorade's commitment to break down barriers and help millions of kids get into the game by visiting Gatorade.com/community.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal.
Cover 3, ready?
And knowing just how we're going to get there.
8 seconds, it's plenty of time.
So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too, when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Green Print plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
You're listening to coverage of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament on the SEC Radio Network.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and hand-smashed Angus patties seared to crispy perfection. How do I tell my favorite burger it's been replaced?
Easy. You don't. It's a burger. It has no feelings.
The Sonic Smasher. Try it as a double or a triple. Live free, eat Sonic. See menu for details.
We're about ready to start the second half here in downtown Nashville as we bring back in Neil Price and Kevin Henry. Guys, regular season meeting was a South Carolina blowout over Arkansas. Razorbacks have completely flipped the script through the first 20 minutes.
They absolutely have, and we take a look now at our statistics presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. They remind you to have fun out there, and Arkansas has nearly 55% from the floor, 17 of 31 in the first half, 5 of 13 from 3 for 39%, 8 of 8 at the free throw line. South Carolina, on the other hand, 10 of 26 shooting in that first half, just 38.5%, 5 of 11 from 3 for 45.5%, 5 of 6 at the free throw line. Arkansas +6 in rebounding, 18-12. Turnovers haven't been many, just 3 for Arkansas, 6 for South Carolina, 8 assists for Arkansas against those 3 turnovers, and it's an even ratio for South Carolina, 1-to-1 assist to turnover. They had 6 helpers in that first half. Kevin, you start the second half of this game. Here's the deal. For South Carolina, you're down to 20 minutes unless you find a way to circle the wagons in a hurry. What's got to change for Lamont Paris's team?
Well, you got to slow these guys down in the paint. I mean, South Carolina stayed connected early on. I mean, this was a close ball game for much of the first half, but then Arkansas went on a couple of big scoring runs, and a lot of that was, scoring points in the paint. You can see these guys are leading 20-10 in points in the paint. So, South Carolina's got to find an answer for those big guys of Arkansas.
Arkansas walks out of their huddle with DJ Wagner, John L. Davis, Trevin Brazil, Carter Knox, and Zanavir Avicic, who didn't play a ton of minutes in the first half of this game. When they brought Jonas Adu in, he just took over. But Avicic in the first half only played 9 minutes. Didn't have any foul trouble. Just hard to take Adu out of the game because he came in the bench and gave him a spark. And South Carolina still huddle up over there around Lamont Paris as they get ready to make their way back onto the floor here, and they'll have Zachary Davis to start the second half, Jacoby Wright, Jamari Thomas, Colin Murray Boyles, and Nick Pringle.
You think about this. I mean, if you look at the plus minuses of players on the floor, Ivicic is a -2 when he's in the ball game. Adu in the first half, +20.
Difference maker. Carolina's ball first, attacking the hoop to our left in the final 20 minutes. They get it inside. Thomas, lob for Pringle, and he'll flush it with 2 hands to make it 47-32 Arkansas.
That's a good way to come out of the locker room.
Arkansas brings it left to right. Wagner, top of the arc to Trevin Brazil. He'll hand off to Davis. John L. Davis drives to the free throw line to Avicic straight away. Hands off to DJ Wagner midway through the clock. Around to Knox, right of the lane. Drives in, contested right-hand lane, goes over Davis. And it's 49-32 Razorbacks.
Carter Knox, a really good three-point shooter, was able to put on the floor and get to the rim that time.
Thomas for South Carolina tries to make a dangerous pass across the floor to Davis in the left corner. It's batted out by Carter Knox. And Carolina will keep it with 22 on the timer. 19:15 left in the game. Arkansas leads 49-32. Really grabbed a hold of this one in the final 3.5 minutes of the first half. Thomas at the top, tried to bounce it inside to Murray Boyles, throws it off the leg of Brazil. Brazil digs out the loose ball, throws it ahead to Knox, tried to bat it over to Davis, and it's intercepted under the rim down to our right by Thomas. He throws long. Avicic with a deflection. Carolina picks it up, down low Murray Boyles can't finish on the left side of the rim, and the rebound is tapped out by South Carolina. It'll be Arkansas's ball with 18:55 left, leading 49-32.
What a play. I mean, just back and forth that one was. You didn't know who was going to end up with that loose ball as teams try to dribble it instead of grabbing a hold of it and really gaining the possession.
The old coach at Mississippi State and Southern Cal, Bob Boyd, once said, never mistake activity for accomplishment. There was a whole lot of activity there, not a whole lot of accomplishment. Brazil out front for Arkansas. Around to Avicic. Hands off at the top for John L. Davis. Davis to Knox, lobs to Avicic, the 7'2" big man, double team, hooks it back out to Davis, 6 to shoot, driving in, scoops it up, Murray Boyles spikes it out of bounds, and Arkansas will get it back with 3 on the shot clock, leading 49-32.
Well, if you're wondering how that hip feels after that block right there, it looks like it's perfectly fine, but I know he's struggling. I mean, that last layup he missed down there on that end, that's a hard play to make, and he did it.
Wagner bouncing inside. Brazil fighting for space, gets in front of Pringle, lays it in and gets fouled. Trevin Brazil just working hard there on the inline out of bounds, and it's 51-32 Arkansas.
Yeah, again, just Arkansas has been really efficient on their baseline out of bounds plays, Neil. Every time it seems like they get either a good shot or a bucket.
So Trevin Brazil goes to the line to try to finish the old-fashioned three-point play. If there's a weakness in his game, this might be it. 54% at the charity stripe this year, but he's been good in this stretch of the last 4, and he swishes that one to make it a 20-point game. Arkansas 52, South Carolina 32. 18:25 to go here at Bridgestone Arena. Davis high and wide on the left for Carolina in black, attacking the hoop to our left. On the corner left side for Thomas. Thomas cross court to Jacoby Wright. Wright puts it on the deck, sliding toward the top of the arc. Now he attacks, gets to the logo, kicks to Davis. 3 left corner, too strong. Murray Boyles with a weak side rebound for Carolina. They get a reset. He spins into the paint. Tried to drop it off, deflected back to him by Avicic. Davis picks it up left corner to Murray Boyles on the left wing. Shot clock down to 10. Hands off to Jacoby Wright. Driving in on Davis. Fakes, fires, and banks it in. 52-34 Arkansas after the bank shot for Jacoby Wright.
Another good possession by the Gamecocks there. Offensive rebound, second chance point.
Wagner on the right wing for Arkansas with a big lead here with 17:34 left. Around the arc, left to right for Carter Knox. Knox with Avicic waiting to screen. He'll refuse that, drives in, tried to put it up and had it knocked away, and it's stolen by South Carolina. Into front court, Thomas for the Gamecocks. To Murray Boyles, right wing. Drops it down low, quickly to work. Pringle turns on Avicic, and Avicic fouls it. 17-16 left in the game. It's 52-34 Arkansas, and a baseline out of bounds coming up here for South Carolina as Arkansas goes to the bench to bring in Billy Richmond for the first time in the second half to replace Carter Knox.
You can tell South Carolina, they're really motivated to get the ball inside this second half. They haven't settled for threes. They're really trying to drive the ball and get fouled.
There's a lob off the baseline out of bounds, looking for Pringle. He got his hand on the rim but couldn't make the catch. Arkansas comes away with it. They lob it at the other end, and Wagner connects with Richmond from long distance to make it 54-34.
How about that play? This is how you execute a lob play right here.
16:58 left in the game. All the momentum with Arkansas right now. Wright for Carolina. Drives down the lane. Kicks to Davis. Spots for 3. Off the front rim, no. Weak side rebound. Batted around. Murray Boyles working hard. Gets it away from Avicic. A reset for Carolina. A deflection. And Matt Zimmerman, the old Arkansas assistant coach, with some quick hands down there He's working radio for the Arkansas Network today and makes the catch. And wants to tell Eddie Orrin exactly how good those hands are as the Texas radio analyst and Matt Zimmerman exchange a laugh on the row ahead of us here at Bridgestone today.
Good thing we're on the second row.
Yes. But, hey, you're a guard. You had good hands. I feel great if it comes our way. I got faith in it. I was a forward with bad hands. South Carolina with it. Off a deflection. Down low. Murray Boyles puts it up, gets fouled. So, again, they go inside. Adu came in on the front line. And I think it's Adu who's going to pick up the foul, but I want to double-check to be sure. Didn't look like 9 fingers went up there. That's what confused me. It looked like 6. There's not a 6 out there. It is on Adu. Okay. Adu was guarding. So Murray Boyles goes to the line for 2 with 16:32 left, and his team trailing 54-34. There's a first for the lefty on this trip, and it's good.
If there's one area that CMB could get better at, to me, it would be getting to the foul line. He's got to be more aggressive underneath and draw fouls.
He'll be a 4-man in the NBA, you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think for sure one of those stretch 4 guys that can step out and shoot the 3, but then also back your guy in. He's a really good passer.
Yo, really good.
You know, so he makes really good decisions out there. Really good player. That's why he's on those draft boards.
He scored his 10th point. Avicic has a thumb that's gone bad on him on his right hand. He's out of the game with Adu in, and the trainers are taking a look at the end of the Arkansas bench as Colin Murray Boyles knocks down the second free throw. 54-36 Arkansas. Razorbacks with the ball. A big lead with 16:25 left, and Wagner turns it over. Great defense by Colin Murray Boyles, who was guarding Richmond, and Wagner never could get a clear lane to throw it to him out by the time stripe.
Well, what you don't want to do is pick the ball up as soon as you cross half court. Not only do you have the defender on you, but you have the half court line and the sideline right there. Just 2 more added defenders, which made it really hard for him to make a play.
Trevin Brazil re-enters for Arkansas. He will replace Carter Knox. So the Razorbacks get a little bit bigger up front here. And South Carolina will play it in. The right sideline in the offensive half. Jamari Thomas working against DJ Wagner. Gets around him. Pick and roll with Murray Boyles. Into the right corner now for Jacoby Wright. Drives to the logo. Down the lane. Fades from 10 and knocks it down. Got into the trees and created some space, and it's 54-38 Arkansas.
Well, that's what you got to do with these guys. You got to drive the ball right to the paint. Get a paint touch. Even if you're going to shoot a 3, try to drive it first.
DJ Wagner, deep left rear for the Razorbacks. Around to Trevin Brazil. He's been shooting it well from behind the arc in the last 4. Brazil will pull the trigger. Left wing. That one's too strong. Adu between 2 Gamecocks gets the rebound for Arkansas. Out to DJ Wagner at the top. Shot clock down to 15 off the reset. To Adu, top of the circle. Sliding left outside the 3-point line. Hands it off to Richmond. Driving right lane out to Brazil. Catch and shoot 3 from the corner is on target. 57-38. Brazil knocks down another 3-pointer for the Razorbacks, and their lead grows with 15:24 to go.
Well, like we said earlier, 50% from 3, and he's 3 of 5 today.
Right for South Carolina. The free throw line kicks right corner. Cam Scott is in. He'll fire a catch and shoot 3 and rattles it in from the right corner. That pulls Carolina to within 16, 57-41, 15:05. Still time, but they've got to find some stops. Adu for Arkansas stands and holds at the top of the 3-point line to Wagner, who retreats out toward the 10-second stripe. Deep left rear. Shot clock to 15. Hits Davis curling off the screen at the elbow left side. He'll find Brazil out front. Brazil drives left of the lane. 8 to shoot. Turns. Ball was knocked out of his hand. Skipped off the top of the backboard. Carolina comes up with it. Driving in. Thomas puts it up with the right hand. He gets swatted on the way down. Goaltending is called. And Carolina will get credit for 2. It's a 57-43 lead for Arkansas now as Jamari Thomas goes in and earns a 2-pointer. 14:37 left. We've got a timeout. Arkansas in front of South Carolina 57-43 in the opening game of the SEC tournament. This is the SEC Radio Network.
Johnsonville asks, know why they're called sausage links? Because they have the power to link people together. Isn't that beautiful? I read that somewhere, or maybe I just made it up. But the point is, instead of stirring the pot on social media to drive people apart, let's stir the jambalaya or the Italian sausage rigatoni. And you just watch. Johnsonville sausage links link people, just like the sausage patties is a way people pat each other on the back. Okay, that I totally made up, but it's also very true. Keep it juicy out there.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm the valet at the game, and I'm as tight on cash as this lot is on space. So I'm going to park your way too big truck in this way too small spot. And if you don't have the right auto insurance, this might leave you crunched for cash. So get Allstate, save money, and get protected from mayhem like me. Who's next?
Savings vary based on coverage selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois. On Southwest, everyone can change or cancel their flight without a fee. That means this solo travel queen can stay an extra day on vacay. No fee, baby. And these two lovebirds get one more day of freedom.
Our kids won't miss us. They're with me, Ma.
Well, this poor guy can bail on the bachelor party a night early.
I'm tired, man.
No change or cancel fees. For real. That's a big flex. Only at Southwest. Fare difference may apply. Failure to cancel a reservation at least 10 minutes prior to scheduled departure may result in forfeited flight credits.
SEC basketball is brought to you all week long by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. By Johnsonville, reminding everyone to keep it fun, keep it together, and keep it juicy. And by the Sonic Smasher. Live free, eat Sonic.
14:39 left in the game. Arkansas leads South Carolina 57-43. The officials went to the monitor during the timeout to take a look at the play that resulted in goaltending and the call on the floor after that review has been confirmed. So the score holds at 57-43. With Kevin Henry, I'm Neil Price. We're glad to have you with us today to open the SEC tournament. You and I were talking in the break. If you're a guard like Jamari Thomas, as good as he was in the MEAC a year ago and as good as he's been this year for South Carolina, if you're going to go in the trees like Arkansas has got with Adu and Ivisic and Trevin Brazil, you got to go stronger with that than with that scoop shot.
Well, what you do is when you try to change directions in the air and double clutch and things like that, you're playing into the hands of a shot blocker because you're slowing your momentum down. You're slowing down and giving them a chance to really see the ball, see your hands, and see where you're trying to release it. What you want to do is take their timing off, get their timing off in that play. So you see a lot of guys go for layups off the wrong leg because it just messes up the timing for a shot blocker. And so that's what these South Carolina little guards have to do. Now, getting to the paint is a plus. Every chance you get, if you can get a paint touch every possession, that's a good thing. South Carolina's made their last three shots. They're 3 of 3 in their last three. So what they've done, that driving kick three to the corner was that play only works if you get a paint touch on that possession. If you don't touch the paint, Arkansas's defense is too far out. They're too spread out on the three-point line. But if you can get a paint touch, it makes that defense collapse, and that's what Arkansas likes to do. As soon as you put on the floor, you see everybody collapse right on top of you, and that's when you want to spray the ball to the wing and get open looks.
All right, I beg your pardon. Owen Short just went to the microphone across the way. They have taken 2 off the board for Carolina, so they said it was not goaltending, and now Chuck Jones is trying to explain that to Lamont Paris, who doesn't buy it down at the end of the Carolina bench. So it's 57-41, and because of that blocked shot, after review, it's going to be Arkansas's ball, so they get it back off of the block and a deflection out of bounds, apparently, off of I would imagine it has to be something because they blocked it.
Yeah, the
point of interruption, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And that was Billy Richmond. So all those big guys with size that you mentioned down low, that Billy Richmond's the one that got that block with the left hand.
So Arkansas will bring it up here, moving left to right. And they'll get it left wing to John L. Davis. Back out top to Billy Richmond III. Working against Cam Scott. Didn't play much in the first half, but it's been out here in the second for Carolina. To Davis against Murray Bowles. Hands off Richmond. Bowles will stay with him. Richmond fires a 15-footer on the baseline and connects.
Arkansas's got it working. Neil, these guys are making shots from all over the floor. And when you go to your bench, although it's only 2 players, those guys are making shots as well.
59-41 Arkansas. 14:05 to go in this one. On the right wing, it's Jacoby Wright in triple threat position. Richmond playing off of him. Throws in the corner left side for Morris Agusa. Gets it to Murray Bowles. High block left. Kicks it out top. A catch and shoot 3. Horseshoes off the left edge from Butler. Rebounded by Agusa on the baseline left to Murray Bowles. Hands off in the corner to Cam Scott. Tried to loop it back to Murray Bowles. He'll catch it off a deflection on the baseline. Up to Scott. 3 left wing is good. Scott's made 2 threes since coming in to start the second half for Carolina. And he's pulled them to within 15. It's 59-44 Arkansas.
Arkansas gave up another offensive rebound. That was a second-chance shot, and that's the best time to shoot those three-pointers.
Richmond stands and holds between the circles for the Razorbacks in white, attacking the basket to our right in the final 20 minutes. To John L. Davis, the FAU transfer, gets to the elbow, leans in for a 15-footer. That left-hand shot comes up short, and the rebound secured underneath by South Carolina's Cam Scott. Doing a little bit of everything here early in the second half. To Wright, Jacoby Wright driving baseline, and Wright gets fouled as Adu tried to slide over and cut off that baseline and couldn't get there in time. Second foul on Jonas Adu. Third on Arkansas here inside the first 7 minutes of the second half. And South Carolina will have an inline out of bounds as Wright exits for Carolina. And it'll be Thomas to play it in. Thomas, Murray Boyles, Butler, Agusic, and Cam Scott. Scott, curling off a screen, has to rescue a pass that was thrown behind him at the free throw line. Kicks it right wing, Thomas. Probes the baseline against the bigs, won't take a shot. Gets it out to Butler, right wing, hands it back to Thomas along the right sideline. Shot clock down to 4. He drives in a pump fake. It's a big in the air. He fires. He can't finish, but he gets fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2.
That's the best play that South Carolina can go to right now, is try to draw some fouls, get some of the size out of the ball game for Arkansas. Those are the ones that are killing you underneath.
That foul's going to be on Carter Knox as it sends Thomas to the line for 2. Guy who has hit 107 free throws this year. That's 12th among SEC players. His first free throw is good. 74% shooter for the year. Here comes the second for Thomas. That one kicks off the right edge, and Brazil pulls it off the window for Arkansas. 59-45 Razorbacks, 12:40 to play. Richmond for Arkansas to Adu, working against Colin Murray Boyles, the 2 5 men playing 25 feet from the basket. Out top, Richmond fires a 3 straight on, off the heel, no, and Murray Boyles reels in the rebound with his right hand for South Carolina. On the right wing, Thomas. I think that was a happy accident. To Murray Boyles, hands it back out front. Thomas, a 3 is good. It pays off in the end with another triple. Business is picking up here at Bridgestone with 12:10 to go. Carolina's back within 11. 59-48 Arkansas. Wagner to Brazil at the top. Sliding left, hands it off there for Knox. Knox drives, looking for Richmond. Can't connect it in the right corner, and the officials say it's deflected off Carolina and out of bounds. Well, Carolina doesn't agree with this at all. Chuck Jones made the call out front. And down low, Courtney Green's got 2 Gamecocks down there, one on either side, lobbying that should be their ball. And Lamont Paris is all the way out at the half line. He believes his team should have the ball. They can't review possession here. We're way too far from the finish line for that. We have a timeout and a very frustrated bunch of Gamecocks. 11:58 to go in the game. Arkansas in front, 59-48 here at Bridgestone Arena. This is the SEC Radio Network.
At Sprouts Farmers Market, we're all about fresh, healthy, and delicious. Every shopping trip is an adventure, with new and ahead-of-the-trend products hitting the shelves every month. From the latest mouth-watering vegan and gluten-free cookies to yummy plant-based protein bars, there's always something new to explore. Plus, find more than 2,800 Sprouts brand items filled with incredible flavor and better-for-you ingredients. Visit your neighborhood Sprouts today, the official grocer of the Southeastern Conference.
Back to Nashville for more SEC basketball action after this on the SEC Radio Network.
And if you want to grab a snack, grab a Farm Rich snack. Something about that song just makes me hungry. Well, any requests? Oh, how about some mozzarella sticks instead? Folks, it's time for me to grab a snack. Feel free to do the same. You can find Farm Rich in the freezer aisle. This next one goes out to all the cheese lovers out there.
We know that sport has the power to change lives on and off the field, but today, the majority of kids in the U.S. are no longer playing sports. As the leader in fueling athletes, Gatorade is committed to helping reverse this trend and creating positive change across our communities. That's why Gatorade has launched Fuel Tomorrow, a new multi-year initiative to help everyone have equal opportunity to play sports and realize their potential. Learn more about Gatorade's commitment to break down barriers and help millions of kids get into the game by visiting Gatorade.com/community.
11:58 to go in this one. Arkansas leading South Carolina 59-48 here at Bridgestone Arena. They've got the great poet Jerry Reed playing in the background, and his song is apropos right now with Carolina down 11. They got a long way to go and a short time to get there with 11:58 left in this one. And we've watched about 3 replays, Kevin, of that out-of-bounds call, and it looked like the Gamecocks might have gotten a raw deal there.
Yeah, it was a tough break, and it looked like it went off of Billy Richmond III's hands there. But you know what? There's going to be plays like that. You got to just play on, and South Carolina knows it. Their coaching staff knows it. You just have to continue playing. They're on a 7-0 run right now, and holding Arkansas 0 points the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So they're doing a good job defensively, limiting those guys to one shot, and then they're coming down. They've hit a couple of threes, but what I like is they're getting those paint touches. They're driving the ball, making Arkansas's defense collapse, and then kicking it out for open shooters.
Cam Scott's kind of been a super sub for Lamont Paris. I mean, he didn't play in the first half, and he comes out and he hits 2 threes here early in the second half to help spur this run.
Yeah, he's doing great. I mean, 2 for 2, and he's only played 4 minutes or so in this second half, but he's made good plays, winning plays, obviously making those shots, but you got to play good defense. In basketball, you got to play both ends of the floor, and that's what you need from a team from South Carolina in a game like this. You got to play both ends, slow Arkansas down. It's like Arkansas is almost kind of in a cruise control right now because they knew they had gotten this lead up to 20, and when you get there, it's kind of human nature to want to put it in cruise control, but you cannot afford to do that in March.
All right, so Arkansas, it looks like, caught a break. They're going to get the ball back here with Richmond, Adu, Knox, Wagner, and Brazil. It'll be a side out down near the corner on the right sideline. Comes into Wagner at the top. Back around to Brazil, right wing. Hands back to DJ Wagner there. 7 to shoot. Wagner sizing up Thomas. Spins into the lane. Contested runner. That one goes out of bounds. And it is off of Arkansas. And it'll be South Carolina's ball with 11:45 left. And the Gamecocks have a chance to try to get this thing down to single digits with a bucket here, trailing 59-48.
I thought South Carolina got away with the foul. There was a lot of contact going in the lane on the Arkansas player, but they got the ball back, so maybe all's well.
You said what I was thinking. Butler, 3 at the top. Off the right edge, no tap, back up by Pringle, and he gets fouled by Adu. So Adu, who was so good in the first half, has had a hard time defending the baseline. He misses a box out there. And Nick Pringle's going to get to the free throw line with a chance to get this thing down to single digits if he can make 2 with 11:35 left.
Well, Nick Pringle was a huge player for Alabama in their Final Four run. And so, you know, he's looked at his stat line for that first half, just 1 of 3 and 2 points and no rebounds. I mean, so he's got to get going. I know the coaching staff told him, get going here in the second half, be more aggressive.
All right, the officials are going to go to the monitor here with 11:35 left. They could potentially be looking for a hook and hold, especially considering where the play took place. Yeah, and you got 2 guys tied up arm in arm, Pringle and Adu down there battling for that rebound.
They made the right call. Foul on Adu. He did have his arm held down right there, which prevented Pringle from getting a rebound. Now, will they elevate this to a hook and hold call? We'll see.
On Jonas Adu, it's his 3rd foul right now. Again, waiting to see if it might be elevated. It's Owen Short, Courtney Green taking a look across the way. Common foul. So they don't find anything extraordinary there. And Pringle's going to go to the line to shoot in a 59-48 game. Now, in Arkansas's last game of the regular season against Mississippi State, they built a big lead early in the second half, only to see Mississippi State come all the way back, get the lead inside the final 2 minutes on a couple of occasions. So this is not uncharted territory for John Calipari's team, but the door is open, and it was not a shooting foul. So it's going to be Carolina's ball on the baseline, excuse me. As they get into Butler, back in the right corner, Thomas for three. That one around and off the right edge, and Brazil gets the rebound for Arkansas. Head to John L. Davis on the right side in front court. 59-48, Arkansas in front. 11-20 and counting here in the second half. Trevin Brazil lobbed it down low for Ivisic. Big Z wasn't home. That one sails out of bounds. He was being fronted in the post by Pringle, and that ball sailed over the two big men. And another Arkansas turnover gives it back to Carolina with a chance again to get it down to single digits here at 59-48.
We got two post players, 6'10 and 7'2. Those guys should never misconnect on a high-low pass.
Thomas against Wagner, picks up his dribble just inside the timeline, bounces deep right wing for Jordan Butler. The Pringle at the top, hands it off for Thomas, can't shoot off the ball screen, hooks it into the right corner to Butler inside the three-point line. Now they rotate it back around the arc, right to left to Thomas. Thomas gets it into the corner. Jordan Butler drives the baseline on Brazil. Fakes, gets inside, lays it up with the right hand. Can't finish against Ivisic. And Ivisic comes away with a rebound for Arkansas. 10:43 to go in the game. Arkansas's lead is 59-48. Wagner sliding right in the lane. Pocket pass. Ivisic makes the catch. Can't finish. He got fouled. Beautiful pass from Wagner. On time and on target.
Well, the pocket pass is open on that ball screen right there. Again, South Carolina switching five. So when you're a Ivisic, you're 7'2". You set a ball screen, you roll to the rim, there's going to be an opportunity for you to get it. Now, that time he had to pick it up off the floor because it was a bounce pass, a low bounce pass at that. And when you're 7'2", it's hard to bend down and get passes that low. But it was the right play because if he'd have thrown an air pass through the lane, it would have been deflected.
Fouls on Cam Scott. Ivisic at the line, fires the first and two and knocks it down. He's right-handed, but he's got that left thumb heavily bandaged. Remember, when he was out earlier in the second half, they were looking at that thumb at the end of the Arkansas bench. Butler and Ivisic exit for Carolina. Come back with Jacoby Wright and Colin Murray-Boyles. Here's the second free throw, good for Ivisic, who makes them both. 61-48. So Arkansas has broken a long scoring drought, but they still haven't had a field goal in nearly 4 minutes. Colin Murray-Boyles, deep right wing for South Carolina. Into the right corner, Wright drives the baseline, draws a double team. They reverse it back out top to Thomas between the circles. Pick and roll with Murray-Boyles down the lane. Challenges Ivisic and finishes through the contact. What a physical finish for CMB. 61-50 Arkansas.
That's how you get to the lane. You take it right at a shot blocker.
Wagner out top for Arkansas. Midway through the second half in an 11-point game with the Razorbacks in front. Brazil hands off to John L. Davis. Around to Wagner, deep right of the circle, being guarded by Jamari Thomas. Ivisic will screen for him. Wagner against the five-man. Murray-Boyles steps back, fires a three. No, dunked in on the follow by Brazil. Or was it? No, came off the rim. And South Carolina comes up with it. Ahead to Thomas, in on Ivisic, and he lays it in with the right hand. No fear from Thomas, who went in against the 7'2" five-man and put it home. And Carolina's within 9, 61-52.
Second play in a row. They've taken it right at Ivisic, right through his chin to go score.
Davis between the circles for Arkansas. Again, they have gone over 4 minutes without a field goal. Wagner out front. He and Thomas get tangled up, and they're going to call Thomas for playing a little too aggressive on defense about 30 feet from the basket. Lamont Paris thought Wagner might have been called for an offensive foul there. It looked like his shoulder got up under the chin of Thomas, but it was Thomas leaning in. And Arkansas is going to get it back, leading 61-52 with 9:17 left. I don't know. I saw the replay there. It looked like Wagner put that forearm right in the chest and threw him away. Wagner sliding right to Brazil at the top. Hands it off left wing. John L. Davis curling right off a screen from Brazil. Working against Colin Murray-Boyles. Spins down the left lane line on him. Brazil sets another pick. Davis can't finish the lay-in. Around and off. And the rebound to Carolina. So the Gamecocks within 9 could get it down to 7, maybe 6 here. Thomas kicks right wing. Here's a three from Wright. That one's off the right edge. No rebound. Batted out to Scott at the top. Fakes a deep three. Lobs for Colin Murray-Boyles. Inside against Adu. Powers his way up, and Adu fouls him. And Jonas Adu has picked up his 4th personal foul with 8:41 left.
Great play by South Carolina. Again, just going right at these shot blockers. Remember in the first half, Neil, these guys were trying to dodge them and get away from them. The second half, it's almost like they were listening to our broadcast. You've got to go right through that guy's chin. You cannot take it away and try to dodge the contact. That plays into the shot blocker's hands. You just give him a shot fake and then go straight into him.
Murray Boyles, the left-hander, fires the first of 2 and knocks it down. And it is an 8-point game. 61-53 Arkansas. Adu will leave with that 4th foul. Carter Knox will join him on the bench as Avicic comes back in after a quick breather. And Richmond returns. One more for Colin Murray Boyles at the line to our left. It's on the way, and it's no good. And Avicic gets the rebound for Arkansas. An 8-point lead. Arkansas has gone 5.5 minutes without a field goal. Wagner crossing over. Trevin Brazil, left wing, hands it off there for Davis. John L. Davis drives, fires a pass. It's deflected out of bounds by Thomas. Wagner holding Thomas off. Thomas thought he was fouled. Chuck Jones says play on, and the ball goes out off Carolina to Arkansas.
Chuck Jones didn't see it, but he was getting held off.
Wagner, deep right rear for Arkansas. 10 to shoot. Hands to Avicic. He'll hand it back to DJ Wagner. Driving on Murray Boyles. Draws a double team into the left corner. Brazil, a 3 short. No, and the field goal drought continues for Arkansas as Carolina gets the rebound with 8:07 left. Murray Boyles on the bounce. Kicks into the right corner. Right. Bounces it down low. Pringle turns, puts it up. Bank shot short against Brazil, but he gets fouled.
Great play. Again, just taking the ball straight up. Got Brazil to foul him that time. Good play by Pringle.
So Trevin Brazil picks up the foul for Arkansas with 7:58 left in the game. Don't go anywhere. We've got one brewing here in Nashville. Arkansas 61, Carolina 53. The Gamecocks at the foul line when play resumes. This is the SEC Radio Network.
When it comes to action-packed highlights, there's nothing like the SEC. And when it comes to packing your game day celebration with deliciousness, there's nothing quite like Bush's Beans. As the official beans of the SEC, we offer big taste for every fan and every tailgate, even if it never leaves your backyard. Come to think of it,
What's up, basketball fans? Thanks so much for hanging out with us this afternoon for the SEC tournament. The first matchup of the day is underway, and we are so glad you're here hanging out with us. Now, please, it's the time of the show for you to let us know where in the world you're watching from. You see the link that's pinned in the chat? You see the link that's getting spammed out in the chat right now? Click that, and that's going to take you to our website to show you where everyone in the world is watching from. We'll see you back in the chat. Thanks for letting us know. Thanks for checking out the new website as well, and good luck to your team.
Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game. Fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
SEC basketball is brought to you all week long by Bush's. Bush's Chili Magic makes chili magically fast. Just chop, drop, chili. Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC. And by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the SEC.
7:58 left in the game. Arkansas led this thing by 20 at one point, and now their lead is down to 8. 61-53 with 7:58 left. With Kevin Henry, I'm Neil Price. Thanks so much for joining us for day one of the SEC tournament. We're just getting started. 3 more games to come today here at Bridgestone Arena. But since halftime in this one, Kevin, South Carolina has outscored Arkansas by 9, and their defense right now really doing a number. They've held Arkansas to one of their last 8 from the field, and they've held them without a point for the last nearly 2.5 minutes.
They're mixing up their coverages, South Carolina is. So when they're guarding the ball screen, we talked about South Carolina being in a switch 5. Well, they went to going underneath those ball screens, forcing Arkansas to shoot the deep 3. And what they've done is they've missed the last couple of threes. These guys are 0 for 6 in their last 6 field goals, one of their last 8. And so they're really doing a good job of there, making them take some tough shots, rebounding the basketball, and then going on the offensive end. They're getting a paint touch every single possession. They're getting a paint touch. They're driving and kicking for threes, and South Carolina's made a couple of threes, but the best thing they've done is got to the foul line a ton here in the second half. They've really drove it in there and gotten them fouled, which is drew fouls on Adu, Ivisic, Trevin Brazil. Those guys have all picked up fouls here late in this second half.
The only real foul trouble, Adu's got 4. And why that's significant is that he was a big part of Arkansas really cracking the game open late in the first half. He had 12 off the bench and 9 rebounds quickly, but now he is a non-factor on the shelf, so that means Ivisic and Brazil are going to have to do the heavy lifting up front for the Hogs. Pringle at the line here for South Carolina. It's an 8-point lead for Arkansas as he eyes the mark, turns it loose at the line to our left, and that one is front rim glass and off. At the free throw line today, South Carolina is 9 out of 13. They're 4 of 7 in the second half. Pringle's second, deep bend to the knees, fires, and that line drive shot is home. So the lead's down to 7 for Arkansas. 61-54, 7:58 left. And the Razorbacks bring it left to right as we view it courtside here at Bridgestone Arena. DJ Wagner picks up his dribble right of the circle against Jamari Thomas, around to John L. Davis. Davis drives left in the lane, feeds DJ Wagner at the top, slides right off an Ivisic screen, now turns downhill left side, finds Trevin Brazil in the corner, drives to the free throw line, down low to Ivisic, falling away, can't finish the off-balance throw to the rim, and it's taken away off the rebound by South Carolina. Ahead to Thomas, driving in, got tied up with Davis, gets the ball back, hooks it down low, Pringle missed a point-blank right-hand bank shot, and the rebound's batted out of bounds by South Carolina with 7:23 left. It was a heck of a pass just to get it down to Pringle, but then he just couldn't finish inside.
I mean, just think, if that shot goes, this is a 5-point game with 7 minutes to go in it.
He was already past Ivisic. He had the matchup. Richmond, a smaller player on him. He just couldn't turn his shoulders square to the rim. So now Arkansas's got it back. And again, needing a hoop here. They've gone 3-15 without a point. Wagner, he'll fire a 3 to try to break that drought. Skips off the left edge, no. Rebound saved in by Brazil, and he throws that one about 10 rows up into the seats behind the scorer's table.
It was a good pass by the guy that caught the ball to get it back to the floor. It may have been 15 rows up. I mean, that ball went way into the stands.
And Kenny Payne might have dodged an orange bullet there. That ball skimmed right over the top of his bald head on the second seat on the Arkansas bench. And Kenny's not a small guy. Former Louisville Cardinal. Right, high and wide on the right side, hands it off to Thomas. Thomas, pick and roll with Murray Boyles. Down low, one more for Pringle, through his hands, but rescued in the left corner by Agusic. Out top to Thomas, down the lane on Brazil. Right hand lay-in, no. The tip followed by Pringle won't go, and again, Carolina is denied at the rim. And with 6:30 to go, Arkansas with a big rebound here, trying to break a scoring drought, leading 61-54. John L. Davis, left of the lane. Out to Zanavir Ivisic. Now to Trevin Brazil at the top. Sends it right of the circle to Wagner. One bounce to Ivisic straight away. Now to Davis. Tried to play pick and roll. A terrible pass, and it's intercepted by Colin Murray Boyles for Carolina. Telling his teammates to go ahead and head to the other end. He'll bring it up. Murray Boyles on the bounce. Out to Thomas. Back down to Murray Boyles. Kicks it in the corner right side. Agusic, a 3 off the left edge. No. Rebounded by CMB. He hits the deck inside, and Carolina's going to get it back with 5:57 left, and they'll get it at the foul line on the 8th Arkansas foul.
Well, Neil, offensive rebound is going to be huge the rest of the way. You've got to rebound the basketball. This game is too close. If you're Arkansas, you got to take care of that. You did a good job in the first half. You got to start taking care of the glass here in a second. Adu's coming back in, something to watch. 4 fouls on him, and John Calipari knows he's got to get some rebounding in this ball game.
Brazil picked up that last Arkansas foul, his 3rd. So he has 3. Adu, who's back in to replace him, has 4. And here's Colin Murray Boyles at the line to our left. Fires the front end of the 1-and-1 and knocks it down to earn the bonus. It is 61-55 Arkansas. Carolina just keeps inching closer here. Brazil returns. They just got a quick check on him on the bench. He'll replace Zanavir Ivisic here.
Ivisic, that thumb is bothering him. He keeps touching that thumb, looking at it, checking the wrap. I'm sure they're going to address that here at the break when he goes over to the bench.
Murray Boyle's second free throw is good. It's an 8-0 run for South Carolina in the last 4 minutes. Arkansas has not scored in 4:39. The Razorbacks haven't had a field goal in the last 3:40. Desperately looking for a hoop on this trip. Knox out front, crosses over, gets to the foul line. Down low, Richmond floats it up. It doesn't draw iron. It's tapped out. Adu got a hand on it, but it's knocked out of bounds by Murray Boyles. And Arkansas will get it back with 13 to shoot. Wagner will play it in front of the Arkansas cheerleaders behind the baseline down to our right. Gets it into Knox. Now top to Trevin Brazil, guarded by Jordan Butler. Back to Wagner. You want it in his hands. He's the playmaker. Sliding left. Murray Boyles tried to keep him on the right side of the floor. Hedges out, leans his lower body into him, and gets called for a foul with 5 on the shot clock, 35 feet from the basket.
Yeah, CMB needs to be smarter than that. You don't want to pick up a foul right there. You had these guys bottled up, and you're doing good. I mean, again, you've held them no field goals in the last 4 minutes. Just continue to play good defense.
So Arkansas gets a chance to try and break this scoring drought now at nearly 5 minutes. Knox, right wing for the Razorbacks. DJ Wagner at the top. Shot clock is down to 8. One-on-one out front with Thomas. Dumps it inside. It gets knocked free. It's anybody's ball, and Agusic comes out of there with it for South Carolina. Gamecocks force another turnover. 5:09 left. They trail by only 5. Thomas, right wing, turns on the Jets, drives into the corner on Richmond, lost the handle but got it back. To Colin Murray Boyles, right wing, drives in and slams it with the left hand. He ain't done yet. 61-58, trying to get one more game here with that big left hand jam. Timeout, Arkansas. 4:47 left. South Carolina down 20 at one point. Knocking on the door. Back within 3. Crunch time on the other side of the timeout. Arkansas 61, Carolina 58. This is the SEC Radio Network.
The Southeastern Conference. It's the land of legends, the places, the faces, and moments.
And he's going for it. It's a touchdown!
We've seen the confetti fall again and again. But we're not done. It's time for the next generation to make their mark and go from 14 deep to 16 strong. It's a whole new ball game in the SEC, and it just means more.
You're listening to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament.
A shot from 3, nothing but net.
On the SEC Radio Network.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal.
Number 3, ready?
And knowing just how we're going to get there.
8 seconds, it's plenty of time.
So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too, when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Green Print plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
4:47 left in the game. Colin Murray Boyles with a dunk has pulled Carolina to win 3, 61-58. With Kevin Henry, I'm Neil Price. Kevin, if this is the last game for Colin Murray Boyles in a Carolina uniform, it's not because he hasn't tried to extend his season. 18-10 today, and he has been a force here in the second half.
It's not the 35 that he had last time these two teams played, but he's on his way. I mean, he's playing some really good basketball right now. And I talked about the glass. You got to show up the glass. Here we go. South Carolina with 30 rebounds on the game. Arkansas with 29. South Carolina's taken the lead on the glass, and that's been important. Not only just defensively rebounding the basketball, those tough shots that they're forcing Arkansas to shoot, giving them a chance to push it the other way on offense, but they're getting offensive rebounds on this end down here, and that's what's giving them a chance to get those second and third chance buckets, and they're drawing fouls. And I tell you, you just keep driving the ball to the lane. Getting a paint touch is very beneficial here in the second half, and if you can turn the corner, get in there and try to get the layup up, Arkansas is not going to want to foul you. These guys do not want to foul out. Adu wants to stay in this ball game, and I tell you, his teammates want him to stay in this ball game, so he's going to back up. And if you just got to finish, you saw several shots. Pringles had one, and as good as Thomas has been in this ball game as well, 16 points for him. He missed a bunny right at the rim. Those guys, you got to block out the defense and go straight in there to try to finish, especially at this point when Arkansas is not wanting to foul.
This is where the 7-man rotation works against John Calipari, because Adu's got 4 fouls. Trevin Brazil has 3. If you lose one of those bigs, I mean, Adu's been huge in this game today, but Avicic is banged up on that left hand. He doesn't look comfortable. It's a front line. It's in a little bit of turmoil right now for Arkansas.
If you lose one of these last two, Adu or Brazil, you lose one of them, you'll go with Avicic as long as he can go. Other than that, you're going to run a 4-guard lineup.
Yep. And get a lot smaller in the process. All right, it's Arkansas's ball. They have been struggling at the offensive end. They've gone nearly 6 minutes without a point. Carolina's outscored them 17-2 in the last 9 minutes. They get it into Richmond at the top. Angling left off an Adu screen to the rim. Missed the right-hand lay-in. They got the look they wanted, and Carolina gets the rebound. 4:34 left. A 3 would tie this. Carolina's trailed by as many as 20 today. On the left wing, Thomas inside the arc. Out top to Jordan Butler. Inside to CMB. Murray Boyles squares up, 15-footer swish, and it is a 1-point game. 4:15 and counting to go. Arkansas 61, Carolina 60.
Carolina runs their offense through Murray Boyles the rest of this game.
Adu inside the arc, right corner against Murray Boyles. Hands off to Richmond. Back to Adu. Foul line extended right. Slides in. Dumps it down low. Bad pass. Intercepted by Thomas. And Thomas turns it over, trying to bring it up the left side. A grin on his face. He wanted to hang on to that one in the worst way.
Murray Boyles is bleeding. I think he just got popped in the mouth on that last play, and he's bleeding. Hopefully he won't be out too much.
Final media break. They got plenty of time to try and get him stitched up over there. 3:55 left. And this one coming down to the wire. Carolina back from the dead. Arkansas 61, Carolina 60 with 3:55 left on the SEC Radio Network.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, we've spent 80-plus years in the business of fun. Expert fishing fun. Early morning hunting fun. Late night, need new cleats before tomorrow morning's game fun. Relaxing fun. Mouth-watering fun. So whatever fun adventure you're gearing up for, you'll find it for less at Academy Sports and Outdoors and at academy.com.
And if you want to grab a snack, grab a farm-rich snack. Something about that song just makes me hungry. Well, any requests? Oh, how about some mozzarella sticks instead? Folks, it's time for me to grab a snack. Feel free to do the same. You can find Farm Rich in the freezer aisle. This next one goes out to all the cheese lovers out there.
We know that sport has the power to change lives on and off the field, but today, the majority of kids in the U.S. are no longer playing sports. As the leader in fueling athletes, Gatorade is committed to helping reverse this trend and creating positive change across our communities. That's why Gatorade has launched Fuel Tomorrow, a new multi-year initiative to help everyone have equal opportunity to play sports and realize their potential. Learn more about Gatorade's commitment to break down barriers and help millions of kids get into the game by visiting Gatorade.com/community.
SEC basketball is brought to you all week long by Farm Rich, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Grab a snack. Pfizer, the official pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine awareness sponsor of the SEC. And by Sprouts Farmers Market, official healthy grocer of the SEC.
3:55 to go in this one. It's a 61-60 lead for Arkansas. Let's hit the rewind button. With 17:08 to go in this game, Arkansas led 54-34. It is South Carolina that on defense has held Arkansas without a point for the last 6:41. The Gamecocks on a 12-1 run in the last 6:19. And here they are, right in the thick of it, trying to beat Arkansas for the second time in the month of March and extend their season here at the SEC tournament. With Kevin Henry, I'm Neil Price. Glad to have you with us. This has turned into a real nail-biter here. And let's go all the way back to when we started this broadcast. I talked to you about bigs, how important bigs were for Carolina in that game. It didn't materialize early. It was Jonas Adu who was the biggest big of the game for Arkansas. Helped Arkansas open that lead, but now Colin Murray Boyles has brought his team right back to the doorstep of going in front.
Boy, he's cooking right now. 20-10 in this ball game and counting. I mean, I think the offense runs through him the rest of this ball game. He has to get a touch every time on offense. And then defensively, you've seen the Gamecocks kind of mix up their defense. Sometimes they double team, sometimes they hedge, sometimes they switch. And they've done that to perfection here in the second half. And Arkansas does not have an answer. It's forcing them to take tough twos. They're missing their three-point shots. And Nelly Davis just checked back in this ball game. So we'll see if he can get going. He's one of those guys that can get hot in a hurry. We've seen him score a bunch of points in March. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this game goes the last 3:55.
Murray Boyles had his lip busted up a little bit. They've got him taped up, ready to go here out of the timeout. He just threw a mouthpiece away, so he's going without a mouthpiece out there right now as Arkansas has it off a side out, attacking the basket to our right. Wagner lobs. Adu went to make the catch and got held out of the lane and fouled. So he's going to get to the line here. The 3:40 up. He's not going to get to the line. They say he wasn't shooting. He just made the catch. So they're going to give it to Arkansas on the baseline.
Just their fifth foul.
Important to remember, too, they still got one to give. Carolina, that is. Comes in. Davis, 10-footer baseline. He can't buy one right now. Missed it. Rebound ripped away by guess who? Colin Murray Boyles. And Carolina with a hoop here can go in front with 3.5 to go. Jacoby Wright out front for the Gamecocks in black. Hands to Thomas, deep left of the circle. To Agusic on the left wing. To Thomas. Pick and roll with Murray Boyles. The pass is off the mark and a steal for John L. Davis. Davis driving in, splits two defenders. Missed that one, but it's laid in. They may wave that off for basket interference. It was tapped back in by Adu, but I think the ball was over the cylinder. And the rule, remember, Kevin, is that it doesn't have to be on the 10. If it's over the cylinder and an offensive player touches it, it's offensive interference.
I think you're right. Again, we are on the second row here, so we are way away from the game or from that play. But I think you're right. I think that ball was basket interference. And Nelly Davis probably thinks, hey, man, my shot was going in. You didn't need to touch it right there. It was going to fall in.
Yeah, that ball's definitely. We're seeing it on the big board here at Bridgestone, and Adu's hands are on it, and it's over the cylinder. This should be an easy call.
After review, the call on the floor, basket interference has been confirmed.
Owen Short confirms it for us, and with 3:15 left, a potentially huge offensive rebound and stick back gets taken away, and South Carolina gets another crack to grab the lead here, trailing 61-60.
Well, that last possession, South Carolina, they ran through their offense, and then they finally went to the pick and roll. The ball screen with Colin Murray Boyles rolling to the basket, but Nelly Davis sniffed it out. He saw that play coming, and he shot the gap and got the steal. You have to figure out other ways to throw the ball into your best player.
All right, so Carolina will bring it 94 feet with Agusic to trigger this. Thomas, Wright, Butler, and Murray Boyles. Arkansas picks up full court pressure. Carolina gets it in to Wright. Now everybody clears off, and it's man-to-man as Thomas brings it up against DJ Wagner. Spinning to his right. Gets it to the right sideline for Jacoby Wright. Sliding left off of Murray Boyles' screen. He'll give it back to him right way. A hoop gives South Carolina the lead. Murray Boyles turns in, puts it up on Adu, who got a piece of it, and he comes away with a rebound for Arkansas. Big stop for the Razorbacks to hold the lead. Now they need a hoop and a whistle away from the ball, and we've got a foul inside on South Carolina. Jordan Butler picks up the foul. That's the 6th Carolina team foul. So the next Carolina foul puts Arkansas at the line. Arkansas has already passed the 7 foul mark. Butler's second personal. Arkansas hasn't scored in almost 8 minutes. Comes into Adu. Left of the lane. Hands off Davis. Davis launches a 3 left corner. That one's no good. Brazil with a big offensive board out to Wagner. He dials long distance and connects. The drought is over for Arkansas. Wagner with a triple makes it a 64-60 lead for the Hawks.
Offensive rebound led to that open look from 3.
Thomas gets it underneath for Wright. They rotate it back out to Murray Boyles. Down low right. Pump fake missed. A bunny inside with the right hand. Butler with a rebound. Swatted in front by Brazil of Arkansas. 2 Razorbacks going for it. They destroy the Carolina bench as they go airborne. And it's out of bounds off of Arkansas.
You know, when you lock these benches, these chairs on the benches together, when you knock one of them over, it pulls 12 of them over. And that's what happened right there. Arkansas went right into the bench of Carolina and knocked over just about all the chairs.
So it's going to be Carolina's ball with 16 to shoot. It is a 2-possession game. Arkansas 64, Carolina 60. DJ Wagner with a 3 a few moments ago for the Razorbacks to break an 8-minute scoring drought. He's 5 of 11 shooting today. Davis has had a tough day. He's had good looks, but just 3 of 12. Murray Boyles with a big day for Carolina, 20 and 11. He's brought his team back into it here. And now they're trying to get it back down to 1 possession with a hoop on this trip. Comes in the right corner to Jacoby Wright. Working against DJ Wagner and Arkansas's man-to-man. 10 to shoot. Drive to the elbow. Left corner. Agusic. 1 bounce finds Pringle at the top. Pringle kicks it right side right. 2 to shoot to the free throw line. 15-footer tried to use the backboard. No, a foul underneath. And it's going to go against Arkansas. Here's the thing. I'm not sure that ball was going to catch the rim on that shot. They were headed for a shot clock violation, and they're going to get bailed out in a major way here with an Arkansas foul with 1:57 left.
Wow, that's a big call right there. And I think you're right, partner. I don't think that ball hits the rim, which would have been a shot clock violation.
Fouls on Wagner. Yeah, we saw it on the big board here at Bridgestone. It would not have hit the rim. That would have been a shot clock violation had it not been for the whistle against Wagner. So DJ Wagner's picked up his 2nd, Arkansas's 9th, and Jacoby Wright, with South Carolina trailing by 4, heads to the line for the 1 and 1. Or 2, excuse me. He knocks it down. Okay, it was a 1. I didn't think he was shooting, and then no one really moved off the lane line when he shot it, which fooled me into thinking it was 2. Wright 2nd. Good. Makes them both. So we got a 2-point game. Arkansas 64, Carolina 62. Time growing short here on Broadway. 64-62 with 1:52 left. Wagner out front for Arkansas to Davis. Inside to Adu. Adu against Nick Pringle. Muscles his way in. Jump hook. Left hand. That one bouncing twice. 3 times. Tapped in by Brazil as it falls off to make it 66-62. A huge offensive board and stick back for Arkansas. Thomas, right wing for Carolina on the taller Brazil. Hooks a pass left corner. Agusic a 3. That's an air ball. Taken out of the air on the weak side by Richmond. Richmond trying to escape Thomas. Angling right, gets it across the line with 1:20 left. Arkansas tried to build on a 4-point lead. Both coaches, Lamont Paris and John Calipari, working hard up near the timeline for each side. Wagner angles left off a Brazil screen. Pick and pop, right wing, back to Wagner. He'll try a 3. That one is short, no. And the rebound taken away by South Carolina as we move inside the final minute. It's a 4-point game. Thomas to Murray Boyles. Jump pass to Wright. Top of the circle against Davis. Takes him on the bounce into the lane. Right hand bench shot is good. Jacoby Wright with the finish. Pulls Carolina to win 2, 66-64, 45 seconds left. Wagner crosses the line, and Arkansas wants to talk about it here. Leading by 2, trying to find a way to get it back to a 2-possession game on this upcoming offensive possession. Let's take a beat here. Matter of fact, let's take 10 seconds here for station identification. 10 seconds for a station ID. This is the SEC Radio Network. .4 seconds left in the opening game of this SEC tournament. With Kevin Henry, I'm Neil Price. Glad to have you with us. If you've been in and out, if you've joined us late, Arkansas led this thing by 20 early in the second half, 54-34 with 17:08 left. South Carolina held the Razorbacks without a point for a stretch of 8 minutes. Climbed back into this game behind Colin Murray-Boyles. And now down 2, trying to find a way to beat the Razorbacks for the second time in the month of March here. While Arkansas, who played its way into the NCAA tournament by winning 4 of 5 down the stretch, is trying to avoid a disappointing SEC tournament and hang on to win this thing here.
Absolutely, and Colin Murray-Boyles has done the lion's share of the work here. I mean, just offensively, defensively, rebounding the basketball. South Carolina still in the lead on the glass, but they gave up 2 crucial offensive rebounds the last couple possessions, which have led to a 3-pointer by Arkansas and a tap-in by Trevin Brazile. I mean, those are 2 crucial offensive rebounds that you gave up down the stretch right here. But here we go. It's a 2-point ball game, and this was a 20-point game not long ago.
In that first meeting between these two teams, South Carolina held Arkansas to 14 points in the first half of that game to build a big lead, and they never really looked back. Today in the second half, the Gamecocks have held the Razorbacks to 19. And they're within 2 here. Adu's got 4 fouls. He's on the floor for Arkansas with Trevin Brazile, John L. Davis, DJ Wagner, and Billy Richmond III. Richmond will inbound at the 28-foot line on the left side at the head of the Arkansas bench. South Carolina on defense here with Agusic, Jamari Thomas, Nick Pringle, Colin Murray-Boyles, and Jacoby Wright. They get it to Davis at the logo down the lane. Left-hand runner, good. There's a much-needed make for Davis, and it comes at a huge moment. It gives Arkansas a 2-possession lead, 68-64, 27 seconds left. A 4-second difference, making a 3-second difference between the 2 clocks. Thomas, 3, missed off the left edge of the window. Adu with the rebound. South Carolina has to foul with 16 seconds left, and they'll stop the clock as they give a foul here with 16.6.
Not a great shot there by South Carolina. I mean, you can tell it wasn't a great shot. And I don't mind the shooter shooting it, but the ball hit the side of the backboard. Didn't even hit the rim. So you've got to work for a better one than that. And again, I think you get the ball to CMB. He's your best player in this ball game. He can hit that 3 as well, but get him going downhill. You didn't need a 3 in that possession.
John L. Davis will head to the line. He's got 10 points today, but man, he's had to work to get there. 4 of 13 shooting, double figures now for him in 11 of his last 13 games. 17.7. That's what they put back on the clock after a review. It is a 2-possession game. Even if he makes them both, 2 threes still keep this in play. The first one is good.
You've got to assume that he's going to make this second shot. If you're South Carolina, you push it down the floor as fast as you can. Get a quick 2.
Carolina's got timeouts now, 3 of them if they need them. Arkansas is down to 1. If there's a tie-up, the arrow would give the ball to South Carolina. 17.7 left. Davis fires. That one's good. So it is a 70-64 lead for Arkansas, and Lamont Paris will use one of those 3 timeouts here. But his team has to think about 3 with 17.7 left, down 6.
Yeah, now you're down 6, and so what you do is you still have time to score a bucket, foul, and then, hope for a miss on the free throw on that end. But yes, at this point, you got to just take what you can get the best shot available. I said a 2 seconds ago, and still don't mind a 2, but if you can drive and kick for a 3, I'm good with that as well.
At one point, Arkansas missed 12 consecutive shots over over an 11-minute stretch since they've made 3 of their last 5, a three-pointer, a mid-range jumper, and a layup to build a 2-possession lead, 70-64 over South Carolina, trying to hang on here to get their 20th win of the year. And South Carolina still battling to try and keep its season going. A loss here today, and it ends for CMB and company.
I think you still go to CMB, let him go to work. You don't have a lot of time to mess around at this point, but you got to get downhill. So those guards and him have to be in concert together, drive and kick, open shot, take the best thing available.
And you mentioned he's a great passer. That's something that we haven't talked about a ton today with him, but he is capable of setting guys up on the perimeter from the post.
No doubt. And here's the thing. He's a lefty, so he's a little unorthodox for that right-handed guard, right-handed defender. So if you can get downhill, and again, Adu is still in the ball game with 4 fouls. I mean, it'd be crucial for those guys to drive it at him because he doesn't want to foul again. He wants to stay in his ball game, so he's going to back out of the way. If you can go in at him and either get him out of the game or score it with the foul, or just think, hey, we're just going to score this one and just play the rest of this game after we foul here at this next possession, that's the guy that you drive the ball at.
Okay, so Cam Scott's back in. He made a couple threes earlier in this half, helped Carolina get back into it. Jacoby Wright, Colin Murray-Boyles, Morris Agusic, and Jamari Thomas. They throw long. Murray-Boyles goes up high, can't get to this one. Picked out of the air by John L. Davis, and South Carolina has to foul again with 14 seconds left. They were trying to save some time by connecting a long pass from the baseline to the right wing in front court, but too tall for Colin Murray-Boyles. And now one free throw will just about seal it for Arkansas with 14 seconds to go.
Yeah, if he could have brought that down, maybe different story. But the fact that it went right over his hand, almost out of bounds, and then, Nelly Davis got that loose ball right there and had to foul him.
John L. Davis goes to the free throw line where he's 4 out of 4 today, trying to put the icing on this one. On the way, front rim, back rim, and off. Taken away on the 1-and-1 by Carolina. 3 here if they can get it. They'll give Wright a 2. He'll take it, lays it in with 8.4 left. 70-66, a 4-point game. Carolina picks up in full court man-to-man pressure. Arkansas's got to burn a timeout here, their final one, to avoid the 5 count and the turnover. And they'll take it with 8.4 left, leading by 4, 70-66 over South Carolina.
Yeah, great play. You want to extend the ball game. And so taking that layup right there, not a bad play to take that one. Now you have 8.4 seconds. Great job of picking up full court, making those guys make it really difficult to get the ball in. And again, you have to foul, but go for the steal first, and you never want to do an intentional foul. We've seen that happen before many times. You go after somebody and end up getting called for an intentional one that really seals the ball game.
A steal works for Carolina here to get it back. A tie-up would give it back to Carolina. It has the arrow. Trailing 70-66 with 8.4 left. All right, Arkansas on offense with Richmond, Wagner, Davis, Brazil. Who am I missing? I count 4 Razorbacks. Oh, Adu. Adu's hiding down there on the baseline. Looked like he was standing on the bench. Sneaky. Good way to hide it's hard to hide when you're that big.
Yeah.
They lob it in. Brazil makes the catch to half line, and it's spiked down by Murray-Boyles. 5 seconds left. Scott goes in. He'll slam it with 3.2 to make it a 2-point game. 70-68. I think Trevin Brazil was trying to throw it ahead to Adu, who would have been all alone, and Colin Murray-Boyles just jumped up in front of Trevin Brazil, picked that ball out of the air with 2 hands, and then fed it ahead for the transition 2.
What a play right there. Again, that's why you extend these games. You don't want to just go ahead and settle for threes too early, because if you miss them, those long rebounds, and then it's just too tough. That time, the Gamecocks was able to drive the basketball, score it, force Arkansas to call timeout, and a good-looking play by Arkansas. I mean, you get the ball to Trevin Brazil at half court with options, but Colin Murray-Boyles, just being as good as he is on both ends of the floor, was able to get up and block that pass right down to his teammate that took it coast to coast for a dunk.
Okay, so 3.2 left. Remember, Arkansas is out of timeouts. Carolina just used its next to last timeout. The Gamecocks have one left with 3.2 to go. So a 5-second violation would get the ball back for Carolina. A tie-up again would get it back for Carolina. And, of course, a steal. Arkansas's got to get the ball in. Richmond to play it in. The baseline down to our left. And he can run that baseline after the slam. Richmond standing. Now he moves to his left. Throws it in underneath. And there's a foul with 2.3 as Davis is able to shake free from Agusic. He gets fouled by Colin Murray-Boyles. And he's going to have to give his 5th foul to stop the clock here with 2.3.
He's thinking he had 4 or had 3 fouls. That should have been his 4th is what he's thinking.
He had 4 on the monitor before they started play. He and Adu were the only 2 guys in the game with 4 that were in immediate danger of fouling out. So that's a tough loss for a guy who got Carolina back off the mat when they were down 20 and got them back to where they were on level terms in this thing.
You hate to see a player of his caliber out of this ball game with 2.3 seconds left. You never know what happens. Nelly Davis, a really good free throw shooter. He makes them both. It makes it almost puts it to bed. But he misses one of these.
Misses one here. You can call a timeout. 9 fouls on each team. So it's going to be a 1-and-1 for Davis. 4 of 5 at the free throw line. If he makes 1, a miracle heave could only tie it. If he makes 2, it pretty much would end it. Of course, we thought we were at the finish line earlier. Looked like things were bleak for Carolina just 10 seconds ago. And here they are again, back within 2. They've made some big defensive plays and taken advantage of Arkansas leaving the door open. Scott exits. Pringle is the frontline guy here. Davis makes this free throw. I think Carolina's going to take a timeout. It's on the way, and it's good. Okay, so that makes it a 3-point game. Carolina's not taking a timeout. I thought Thomas was looking at Courtney Green to say, hey, if he makes it, we want a timeout. So it's a 3-point game. If Davis makes this one, he can turn out the lights. On the way, he tried to miss it and bricked it in. Threw it right off the square, and it goes in. It's a 4-point game. And Carolina's going to take its last time out here and try to draw up a play. So you need a 3 and you need to get fouled.
Well, and I'm not sure why you try to miss that.
I don't either. Because if it's a 4-point game, it's awful tough on the other team with 2.5 left. I mean, you can't get 2 possessions. You need something funny to happen.
Yeah. Now, a fouled 3-point shooter, we see that a lot. We saw it in the NBA last night. Foul a guy shooting a 3-pointer, and that could happen here. I mean, it's a 4-point game. Now, Carolina has a timeout, so Arkansas is in a no-jump situation here. You're up 4. There's no need in jumping and contesting a desperation 3-point shot. That shot goes in, that's fine. You're still up 1, and the game is probably over because 2.5 seconds is not a whole lot of time. But if you foul that guy and that shot goes in, they make the free throw, send this thing to overtime. They have all the momentum for the extra time.
They don't have Colin Murray-Boyles here. He fouled out just a few moments ago, had to give his 5th foul to put John L. Davis at the line. He just made 2 free throws to make it a 4-point game, 72-68. Although he tried his best to miss that second one. He tried to break the backboard. He threw that thing up there so hard trying to get it to Karam off and wound up banking it straight in.
One of those county fair shots.
Yep. All right, Carolina's got to bring it 94 feet here, and they need 4 points in 2.5 seconds. Cam Scott will play it in. Throwing long, and Brazil is just going to pick this one out of the air at the foul line. He'll heave it the other way, and that will do it. Arkansas survives, and the Razorbacks will move on to the second round thanks to a 72-68 win over South Carolina here at Bridgestone Arena. Great for Arkansas. They keep it going. They've now won 5 of their last 6 games. Have to tip your cap to Carolina. They played really hard, especially in the second half, to get back in this thing and put a scare into John Calipari's team.
Well, no doubt about it. And those guys just fought back. When you fight back, you're down 20 in the second half. Not in the first half. In the second half, you were down 20 in this ballgame. And to battle back and bring this thing almost to level ground, I mean, that's a huge effort by those guys.
Carolina will end its year at 12-20. Arkansas wins its 20th game of the year to improve to 20-12 for John Calipari, the first-year coach in Fayetteville, his 25th SEC tournament victory and his first at Arkansas. 24 of those at Kentucky.
You don't have Colin Murray balls into that ball game. It may have been different had he been him being on the floor, because when you take those passes, those long passes, and you saw them, they ran that play a couple of possessions before for him. It just went off of his hands. And so you have a chance to get a guy like him on the floor, a good decision maker, also a good shooter. You never know what could have happened.
DJ Wagner is going to visit with us, the Arkansas guard today, who finishes with 13 points, 5 of 12 shooting, and 6 assists. So, first off, congratulations.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
me how you weathered that storm, though, when things weren't going well at the offensive end to hold these guys off today.
Just knowing that we had to fight through some adversity. We know it wasn't going to be easy. And, Coach told us that's how all the game's going to be. So, we hit some adversity in the game, and it just was all about staying together, staying locked in, and just responding the right way.
DJ, how good of a job is it that you guys were able to make shots when you needed them down the stretch?
I feel like it was very good. We was playing against a very good team, a very hard-working and a very disciplined team, and they was making a lot of great plays down the stretch. So it was just very important that we had to come down and make plays as well.
You've won 5 of your last 6 games now. Tournament talk is really good for you. How much fun are you guys having at this stage of the year when things really matter?
We're having a lot of fun. We just all grateful and blessed to be able to play this game that we love. So, we having fun, every day, even in practices, practice games, we just taking it one game at a time. So, we just happy to be out there.
What's the message moving forward? You guys get to stay and play another day.
Taking one game at a time. Now we got to get ready and prepare for the next game.
Hey, congratulations on a hard-fought win today. Thanks for coming over, DJ.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
DJ Wagner visiting with us as Arkansas defeats South Carolina 72-68. Partner, one last thought on what we saw here today.
Well, just unbelievable ball game, but this is what you expect. The SEC tournament, this is going to be such a tough tournament. Every game is going to be, is in my opinion, going to be similar to that one. Just tough teams all over the place, and really fighting. Everybody's fighting at this level.
Yeah. And we've played one game, and we've already had a nail-biter. So, final score today, Arkansas moves on 72-68 with a victory over South Carolina here in the opening round. For Kevin Henry, I'm Neil Price. Stay tuned. Stephen Hartzell will take you between games here. Vanderbilt and Texas coming up in just over 20 minutes here at Bridgestone Arena. Thanks so much for listening. This is the SEC Radio Network.
Sonic Radio. It's time for my favorite segment, Ask the CIO. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hi, a big fan. I used to think I could never love another burger more than my favorite. Then I tried the Sonic Smasher. With its tangy smasher sauce, melty cheese, and hand-smashed Angus patties seared to crispy perfection. How do I tell my favorite burger it's been replaced?
Easy. You don't. It's a burger. It has no feelings.
Sonic Smasher. Try it as a double or triple. Live free, eat Sonic. See menu for details.
At Sprouts Farmers Market, we're all about fresh, healthy, and delicious. Every shopping trip is an adventure, with new and ahead-of-the-trend products hitting the shelves every month. From the latest mouth-watering vegan and gluten-free cookies.
Cheers, basketball fans. Who are you rooting for today in this matchup? Well, get loud in the chat, cheer them on, and hang out with a bunch of people from all over the world. And while we're doing that, the main reason is this SickKids Hospital and Toronto Sports Insider Bracket Mania campaign that is now live. It is underway. Please check the link that is in the description as well as pinned in the chat. And donate if you are able. If not, please share it out. We are going to raise, the goal is at least $100,000 for SickKids Hospital from now until a champion is crowned at the Final Four. We'll see you back in the chat. Go, whichever team it is you're going for, go Gators.
Another team is moving on. Time now for the postgame show, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of the SEC. Stats, analysis, a full game recap, and more are coming up. Once again, let's go live inside Bridgestone Arena in Nashville.
Final score from Nashville. Arkansas survives the upset bid from South Carolina, 72-68. Razorbacks moving on here on day one of the SEC tournament. Stephen Hartzell courtside with you at Bridgestone Arena. Welcome into the postgame show, driven by Mercedes-Benz. Coming up, we'll check the bracket. We'll update you on scores and get you set for Game 2 between Vanderbilt and Texas. Both the Doors and Longhorns on the floor going through pregame shoot-around. We expect that game to tip in about 20 minutes from now. Let's recap quickly Arkansas's win over South Carolina. We'll do it in the form of sound. Our T-Mobile play of the game comes courtesy of Billy Richmond.
It's a lob off the baseline out of bounds, looking for Pringle. He got his hand on the rim but couldn't make the catch. Arkansas comes away with it. They lob it at the other end, and Wagner connects with Richmond from long distance to make it 54-34.
How about that play? This is how you execute a lob play right here.
As called by our Neil Price and Kevin Henry, our T-Mobile play of the game brought to you by T-Mobile 5G home internet. Billy Richmond III above the rim with an alley-oop from half court. That put up Arkansas by 20 points in this game. Razorbacks led South Carolina by as many as 20 points in this game, 54-34, around the 12-minute mark of the second half. And that's when the Gamecocks would slowly start to reel Arkansas back in. Gamecocks would go on a 17-2 run at one point. They trimmed the lead to as few as one at 61-60. That was around the 4-minute mark. But South Carolina was within a bucket for multiple points of the final minutes of this game. Unable to get it done, never actually took a lead, but gave Arkansas all they wanted in the upset bid, but it falls short as the Razorbacks survive 72-68. Our Bush's player of the game, we're going with CMB. Colin Murray Boyles for South Carolina today, getting it done for the Gamecocks. He went for a career-high 35 points when these two teams hooked up during the regular season. Didn't quite put in 35 today, but still, Colin Murray Boyles was spectacular, going for 20 points, 12 rebounds. He was getting it done for South Carolina on both ends of the floor and getting it done with what appeared to be a bum hip. He was certainly hobbling around in the second half. But CMB, Colin Murray Boyles, our Bush's player of the game, brought to you by Bush's. Bush's Chili Magic makes chili magically fast. Just chop, drop, chili. So again, South Carolina coming up short, but giving Arkansas plenty in our first game as the Razorbacks survive 72-68. So now the Razorbacks will move on. They will get a shot at 8 seed Ole Miss in the first game of the afternoon.